Chapter 88, Another Encounter with Ju Ri, 3, Big Brother Ju, we're going back to our rooms to rest. We still have to travel tomorrow. Leng Ruoxua looked at Ju Ri sympathetically. Elder Chiu, let's go upstairs. Okay. Elder Chiu looked at Ju Ri with some resentment. Why did we meet them again? So annoying. Early the next morning, Leng Ruoxua and the others set off. Shuer, let's go quickly. Feng Moran said while on the road. Why are there so few people in Dark Mountain Town? Big brother, are you tired? Leng Ruoxua looked at her brother with some heartache. Her brother didn't have any spiritual power, so it was very tiring to walk so far, but he refused to take a carriage. Silly girl, I'm fine. Shuer's concern made Leng Ruhan happy. Let's camp here tonight. Yichen suggested after walking for nearly a day and seeing that it was getting late. Okay. Everyone quickly set up their tents, finished their meal, and left some guards before going to sleep. What's going on? Leng Ruoxua walked out of her tent in the middle of the night when she heard some commotion. It's Ju Ri and his people. It's okay. Shuer, go back to sleep. Yichen said thoughtfully, but his eyes were shooting daggers at Ju Ri and the others. What's the matter? Leng Qingtian walked out of his tent. I'm really sorry for causing you trouble, Ju Ri said embarrassedly. He had been tormented badly by this willful princess all along the way. Big brother Ju, why did you wake us up in the middle of the night? Leng Ruoxua asked in a displeased tone. Ruoxua, I'm so sorry for causing you trouble. Ju Ri helplessly told them what had happened. They had been staying happily in the inn, but for some reason, the princess insisted on traveling in the middle of the night. She wanted to set up camp on the way, but she actually wanted to set up camp here. How could they have any tents? So he had no choice but to come and borrow some. Big brother Ju, I'm sorry. But the tents in our hands are just right, and we don't have any extra ones for you. I think you should hurry along. Leng Ruoxua suggested. She had never had a good impression of capricious noble princesses and didn't want to get entangled with this one. Young Master Ju, we didn't prepare too many tents when we came out, but I can give you a tent, Leng Qingtian said politely and glared at his granddaughter. This girl is really too straightforward. It isn't Ju Ri's fault. Thank you, General Leng. One is enough, Ju Ri said awkwardly. Young Master Ju, I'll let you use that tent. Leng Qingtian pointed at his own tent. Okay, thank you so much. Ju Ri was embarrassed to stay any longer after thanking them. Lass, why are you so direct? Leng Qingtian asked. I just want them to leave quickly, Leng Ruoxua said. She really didn't like people from imperial families. Ah, this place is so dirty. What's this smell? It stinks. An unpleasant female voice sounded from the tent. Grandpa, did you hear that? Leng Ruoxua said clearly. She knew that they shouldn't have meddled in other people's business. How could this pampered princess live in a tent? Grandpa, you don't have to be angry with this kind of woman. Yichen quickly comforted General Leng when he saw that he was about to blow up. I'm not angry. I'm going to sleep, Leng Qingtian said. Humph. Out of sight, out of mind. Princess, you're the one who insisted on staying in a tent even though there was an inn. If you are so choosy, stay outside with my brothers and feed the mosquitoes, Ju Ri said coldly and turned to leave the tent. He had had enough on the way. Ju Ri, you bastard. How dare you speak to me like that, the unruly princess roared angrily. Princess, calm down, calm down. The maidservant quickly comforted her. Look at his attitude. I am a princess. How dare he treat me like this? Imperial father even wants me to marry him. Humph. Not a chance. The more she thought about it, the angrier she became. Princess, it's getting late. Let's rest. We have to rush tomorrow. We can ask His Majesty to teach him a lesson when we return to the palace if you're really angry, another maidservant suggested. Okay, well go back and ask Imperial Father to vent my anger for me, the unruly princess said unreasonably. Send this to them. Leng Ruoxue handed Yi Chen a few bottles of wine and then returned to her tent. My Shuer has a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Yi Chen was a little jealous, but he still walked over with the wine bottles. Here, have some to warm yourself up. Yi Chen distributed the wine to the hurricane mercenary group. Thank you, brother, Zhu Ri said gratefully. Because they had left in a hurry, they didn't prepare anything for camping outside. You have to be careful when accepting missions in the future. You can't accept such a client even if they pay you more, Yi Chen said with emotion. Some things can't be helped. Your Blazing Flame mercenary group will also meet such clients in the future, Zhu Ri reminded him. That's where you're wrong. Our Blazing Flame mercenary group will not accept such clients. If you want to entrust a request to us, you have to follow our rules, Yi Chen said indifferently. Is that possible? Zhu Ri asked with uncertainty. Everything depends on the person. It mainly depends on whether you want to become the one who sets the rules or the one who follows the rules, Yi Chen said. He believed that Zhu Ri was smart and would understand what he meant. Join us in our tents, Yi Chen said to the hurricane mercenary group before leaving. Set the rules, follow the rules, Zhu Ri murmured. He was the only one left by the fire. The next morning, Leng Ruoxue emerged from her tent to see Zhu Ri sitting alone by an extinguished fire in a daze. Big brother Zhu, have you thought it through? Leng Ruoxue said indifferently. She knew that the freak, Yi Chen, had talked to him for a while yesterday. Yes, I have, Zhu Ri said. Ruoxue, I'm so sorry for causing you trouble yesterday, Zhu Ri said awkwardly. Chapter 89, Another Encounter with Zhu Ri, 4, I just don't like people from imperial families, Leng Ruoxue explained. Her tone wasn't too good yesterday. I don't like them either, Zhu Ri agreed. People from imperial families were indeed annoying. Big brother Zhu, if you don't want to be controlled by others, you have to become a powerhouse above everyone, Leng Ruoxue reminded. Okay, I will work hard. How could Zhu Ri not know what Ruoxue was thinking? But it wasn't so easy to become a true powerhouse. Big brother Zhu, where is the pill I gave you? Leng Ruoxue asked. It's still here. I've been keeping it all this while. Zhu Ri said. The spiritual energy in the pill was very abundant. It was obvious at a glance that it was no ordinary pill. Big brother Zhu, when you become a spiritual sovereign, that pill can help you break through to spiritual supremacy. Leng Ruoxue turned and left, leaving behind a dazed Zhu Ri. When nearly everyone was awake, they divided the work to prepare breakfast. Hey, go and get that commoner to wait on me, the snobbish princess ordered Zhu Ri domineeringly. Why is that damn woman more beautiful than me? There are so many handsome men surrounding her too. Humph. She felt pissed off just looking at the scene. Princess, stop making a fuss. Hurry up and finish your breakfast so we can continue on our journey, Zhu Ri said impatiently. How dare you shout at me? Do you want to die? The princess, who had always been able to do whatever she wanted, roared furiously. Zhu Ri glared coldly at the princess and then left. Zhu Ri, how dare you? Xiao Wan, go and tell that commoner to come and serve me. Seeing Zhu Ri leave, the princess was even angrier and directly ordered her maidservant bossily. Yes. The maidservant named Xiao Wan had no choice but to bite the bullet and walk toward Leng Ruoxue and the others. Miss, our princess invites you over, Xiao Wan whispered fearfully. These people don't like they should be provoked, but why does the princess dislike them? Are you talking to me? Leng Ruoxue asked lightly while holding a grilled rabbit thigh in one hand. Yes, Xiao Wan said fearfully. Heavens, why do I feel that this young lady is more like a princess than our princess? I don't think your princess wants to invite me over. Leng Ruoxue said softly. The princess spoke so loudly that they couldn't pretend not to hear her. Seeing the unfriendly gazes, Xiaowan felt her legs go weak. Scram, Yuqin said coldly. Ah! Xiaowan was so scared that she hurriedly ran back. Heavens! That man's expression just now was really too scary. Princess, this servant. Xiaowan knelt in front of the princess, her face full of fear. Useless thing. The princess slapped Xiaowan on the face and scolded her. You lowly commoner, it's your honor that this princess is willing to let you serve me. How dare you not know how to appreciate favors? The princess walked directly to Leng Ruoxue and scolded her angrily. Who are you calling a commoner? Leng Ruoxue narrowed her beautiful eyes, killing intent flashing in them. You, of course. Wouldn't a commoner have no money to stay in an inn? The princess said matter-of-factly. Doesn't that mean you're worse than a commoner? Don't forget. You borrowed your tent from someone else. Leng Ruoxue reminded her. Exactly. Without our tent, the princess would have had to sleep out in the wild, Fengde said mockingly. How dare a princess be rude to our young lady? She must be tired of living. You lowly commoners, how dare you? I am a princess, the princess roared furiously as she looked at the mocking and unfriendly gazes. Captain, do you want to go over and take a look? Those people aren't to be trifled with. A mercenary couldn't bear to watch any longer and whispered to Zhu Ri. It would implicate their mercenary group if those people killed the princess in a fit of anger. Ignore her, Zhu Ri said coldly. He believed that Ruoxue would know her limits. Fengde, throw her back. Leng Ruoxue ordered. This was the Southern Dusk Empire after all. Even if she wanted to kill this princess, she wouldn't do it now. Yes, Mississippi. Fengde picked up the princess like he was picking up a chicken and threw her back into her carriage. He then wiped his hands on the curtain of the carriage in disdain and walked back. Aha! Why you? I won't let you go. You're dead, the princess screamed, but she was completely ignored. Shuer, pack up and go. Leng Qingtian said. If they hurried, they should reach lunar capital by tomorrow morning. Okay. Well, get Quill to bring us there later. Leng Ruoxue said. Captain, should we set off? A mercenary asked. Let's go. Zhu Ri ordered after Leng Ruoxue and the others left on the flying spirit beast. 2 hours later, Quill descended in front of the city gates of lunar capital. So this is lunar capital. It's about the same as our Phoenix City. Some students who had never been to lunar capital couldn't help but be a little disappointed when they saw the tall city walls. The Southern Dusk Empire was the wealthiest among the 5 great countries, but it didn't look much different from their Phoenix City. It's called seeing with your own eyes, Leng Qingtian said. The reason the Southern Dusk Empire was regarded as the wealthiest of the 5 countries was mainly that the Hu family, the head of the 5 great families, lived in lunar capital. But the money belonged to the Hu family and had nothing to do with the Southern Dusk Empire. Grandpa, Elder Chiu, let's enter. Leng Ruoxue said. Okay. Everyone strode into the capital. Someone welcomed them as they entered the city gates. You must be Elder Chiu. I am Elder Yu from the Lunar Shadow Academy. I am in charge of receiving guests from the major academies, a tall and thin old man introduced himself. Greetings, Elder Yu, Elder Chiu said politely. He knew many elders from the Lunar Shadow Academy, but this was the first time he had seen Elder Yu. I have arranged accommodation for the Heavenly Phoenix Academy. Please follow me, Elder Yu said sincerely. Everyone followed Elder Yu for a while and stopped when he suddenly stopped. Chapter 90, Another Encounter with Zhu Ri, 5, Elder Chiu, you will be staying in this Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. The entire 5th floor is for your academy. Elder Yu pointed at a 6-story luxurious restaurant. The Elegance Lagoon Pavilion was one of the best inns in Lunar Capital, with both meals and lodging. The first and second floors were for the restaurant, and the third to sixth floors were for lodging. The entire inn was said to be the most luxurious in terms of exterior and interior decoration. Moreover, Elegance Lagoon Pavilion was owned by the Hua family. "Thank you for your effort in making the arrangements, Elder Yu," Elder Chiu said gratefully. Everyone then entered the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. "Elder Chiu, how much does it cost to stay here for a day?" A student couldn't help asking curiously after they reached the fifth floor of the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. This place was really too luxurious. "It's enough for ordinary families to live for several years. We stay here for free, but we have to pay for our meals ourselves," Elder Chiu explained. Even though he had expected that the accommodations provided by the Lunar Shadow Academy wouldn't be too shabby, he didn't expect their lodging to be the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Their academy was already considered very rich, but it would be a little unbearable to eat here continuously for a month. Moreover, he didn't bring that much money. What should I do? We can't stay here but eat outside, right? The entire Heavenly Phoenix Academy would be disgraced. "Feng De, arrange rooms for them," Len Ruoxue ordered. "Yes, Mississippi. Come with me," Feng De said to everyone. "Elder Chiu, what's the matter?" Len Ruoxue couldn't help asking when she saw Elder Chiu struggling. "I'm afraid we don't have enough money," Elder Chiu said awkwardly. "The Lunar Shadow Academy is really too despicable. They actually arranged for us to stay here. In fact, no matter which academy was the host, they would generally not arrange for the major academies to stay in such top-notch lodging." It was obvious that the Lunar Shadow Academy was up to no good and wanted to see the Heavenly Phoenix Academy become a joke. "Elder Chiu, is this worth you struggling over? We aren't the only academy staying here. If something like this happens to us, it will happen to the other academies as well." Len Ruoxue smiled and comforted him. "Yes, in addition to our academy, there are also the Rising Dragon Academy, Land Shine Academy, and Flying Bird Academy. Except for the Rising Dragon Academy, it's impossible for the other two academies to have meals here every day." Feng Moran also comforted him. He had already found out that a total of 4 academies were staying here when he arrived. "How can those academies compare to ours? Our academy is one of the 3 major academies on the Ling Feng continent. It would be very embarrassing if we stayed here and went out to eat," Elder Chiu said. The Heavenly Phoenix Academy couldn't lose its dignity. "Old man, why do you care so much about dignity?" "It doesn't matter where we eat," Ling Qingtian said. "This isn't because of my own dignity. This is the dignity of the academy," Elder Chiu emphasized. "Grandpa, Elder Chiu, stop arguing." "Ill pay," Len Ruoxue said impatiently. These 2 old men had been bickering all along the way. "You have money?" Elder Chiu asked in surprise. "Where did you get the money?" Ling Qingtian asked. He knew that his granddaughter had a lot of good things, but she didn't seem to have much money. "I sold some spirit crystals before we set off," Len Ruoxue explained. Before they started this journey, she had specially asked Feng De to sell a portion of the spirit crystals they had obtained in the illusionary forest for emergencies. "Did you sell that earth python?" Ling Qingtian asked anxiously. "That couldn't be sold because it couldn't even be bought with money." "No. That's good. Ruoxue, are you sure we can eat here for a month without any problems?" Elder Chiu asked uncertainly. They would have to stay in Lunar Capital for at least a month if they entered the top 3. "Elder Chiu, a month is nothing. We can even stay for a year," Feng De interrupted after arranging the rooms. "Then I can rest assured," Elder Chiu said. "I didn't expect Ruoxue to be a wealthy lady. Don't worry. Let's hurry to our rooms to freshen up and then try the dishes of this Elegance Lagoon Pavilion later," Len Ruoxue suggested. "Okay." Everyone was very interested in this idea. After going to her room, Len Ruoxue directly entered the Heaven and Earth bracelet, took a beautiful hot spring bath, and played with the little fellows before leaving. "Ruoxue, you came out just in time. I was just about to call you for dinner." Elder Chiu said eagerly when she saw Leng Ruoxue come out of her room. Then let's go. Elder Chiu, do you want to eat? The innkeeper asked when he saw Elder Chiu and the others coming down the stairs. Arrange 3 private rooms for us, Elder Chiu said generously. Having money emboldened him. Yes, please wait a moment. The innkeeper quickly went to arrange it. Leng Ruoxue and the others entered the private rooms. They had just ordered and were about to eat when the doors suddenly opened, and a man and a woman walked in. Who allowed you to come in? Leng Ruoxue questioned coldly. She hated being disturbed while eating. Moreover, they pushed the door open and entered without even knocking. Swear, he is Huaqing, Leng Ruhan said softly. They presumably came for him. I'm sorry to bother you, Huaqing said politely. Why did you come in if you knew you were interrupting? Leng Ruoxue said without giving him any face. She didn't care who he was. It was wrong to disturb her eating. Huaqing smiled bitterly. No one had ever been so rude to him in his life. How can you be so ungrateful? Big brother Qing came to see an old friend out of goodwill. How can you have this attitude? Huaqing didn't say anything. Instead, it was the beautiful girl beside him who rebuked her with discontent, with jealousy in her eyes flashing for a moment. What a joke. Did I invite him? Leng Ruoxue sneered. She raised her eyes slightly and examined the man and woman in front of her. Huaqing had a handsome appearance, a masculine build, and was an intermediate spiritual sovereign. Although his appearance wasn't as good as her elder brothers and the others, he was the type of man that women liked the most. As for this woman, she had an incomparably pure face and looked very innocent. But Leng Ruoxue knew that this woman was a classic example of a two-faced person. Her appearance could make all men want to protect and cherish her, and she was usually the most difficult kind of woman to deal with. Moreover, this woman was the most beautiful woman she had seen to date. Chapter 91, You've Already Got Me, 1, You. Senior brother Leng, this senior sister from your academy is really rude. We came to see you out of goodwill, but what's with her attitude? The beautiful Shui Xinren's eyes flashed. She turned her gaze and complained aggrievedly, with tears vaguely welling up in her eyes. She is my younger sister, Leng Ruhan said coldly. He was not Huaqing and would not fall for Shui Xinren's tricks. Ah. So she's that simpleton. Shui Xinran pretended to be surprised. Xinran. Huaqing glared at her. I'm sorry, senior brother Leng. I didn't do it on purpose, Shui Xinran said with a guilty expression. Can you go out now? We're having a meal. Leng Ruoxue coldly chased them away. Sorry for disturbing you, Huaqing said helplessly as he left with Shui Xinran. He, swear. Huaqing has probably never been treated this way before. Leng Ruhan chuckled. Swear, that was the genius young master of the Hu family. Probably no woman has treated him like this before. Feng Moran also teased. So what if he's the young master of the Hu family? This young lady doesn't allow anyone to disturb me when I'm eating, not even the patriarch of the Hu family, Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. Ruoxue, how domineering. But this is the Hu family's territory after all, so we have to give the master some face. Elder Chiu tried to mediate. As the host, he should know better than to interrupt the guests' meals casually, right? Leng Ruoxue said. Even though she hated uninvited guests, she usually wouldn't be as rude as she was just now. She mainly hated them for barging in without even knocking on the door. At this moment, there was a knock on the door, and the innkeeper entered, followed by 2 young servants, each carrying a plate of food. Esteemed guests, this is an apology from our young master, the shopkeeper said with a smile. There's no need for this. Innkeeper, remember that no one is allowed to disturb us during meals from now on, Leng Ruoxue warned. Yes, I understand. The innkeeper wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Heavens! Why is this young lady so imposing? Innkeeper, We don't need much here. You don't have to wait on us, Ling Qingtian said. How could they enjoy themselves with outsiders standing by the side? All right. Please enjoy yourselves. The innkeeper left tactfully. After dinner, Elder Chiu said he was going to look for Tsong Min while the others returned to their rooms to rest. But Yichen followed Shuer to her room. Aren't you tired? Leng Ruoxua looked curiously at the freak who followed her. She hadn't slept well recently, so she just wanted to have a good night's sleep. I want to chat with you. Yichen's dazzling black eyes were watery, trying to look as pitiful as possible. Okay, let's chat then. He looks too pitiful. Shuer, Huaqing ranks second on the most beautiful men rankings. He's the dream lover of all women. Yichen suddenly said after they chatted for a while. So what? Do I have to like him like other women? Leng Ruoxua asked. A man like Huaqing would definitely prioritize his family's interests. This kind of man was not her type. If someone wanted to be her man, he had to put her first. You're not allowed to like him. You've already got me. Yichen said seriously. If you want to become my man, it will depend on your performance. Leng Ruoxua said. She could ignore a man's identity and status, but it was not so easy to be her man. I will let you know that only I am most suitable for you, Yichen said solemnly. Even though he had always considered himself Shuer's fiancé and liked to call her his wife when there were many people around, he had never said these words in such a serious manner. All right, I'll wait and see. As soon as she saw Yichen off, Elder Chiu came. Ruoxua, we can't find Tsong Min, Elder Chiu, who had gone out to look for Tsong Min, said directly as soon as he entered Ruoxua's room. The competition would begin the day after tomorrow, but Tsong Min's whereabouts were unknown, which couldn't help making him a little worried. Elder Chiu, calm down. The competition will begin 2 days later. There's still time, Leng Ruoxua consoled. Okay. I'll look for her tomorrow, Elder Chiu said. Tsong Min was going to participate in the artificer competition, so they really couldn't do without her. After seeing Elder Chiu off, Leng Ruoxua washed up and then went to bed. The streets of Lunar Capital were bustling with people. Grandpa, where are we going? Her grandfather dragged her, her brother, and Yichen out early in the morning. Let's go to the bazaar. I heard from the innkeeper that there's a bazaar today, Ling Qingtian said. Why is Grandpa interested in the bazaar? No wonder there are so many people on the streets today. I heard that there will be many specialties from the Southern Dusk Empire, Ling Qingtian said yearningly. When they arrived at the bazaar, Leng Ruoxua found that there were a lot of snacks being sold. So Grandpa is here for these snacks. With this thought, she couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Shuer, try this. It's sour and sweet and very delicious. It's a specialty of Southern Dusk. Leng Qingtian handed Leng Ruoxua a red fruit pierced on a thin wooden stick. Isn't this candied hawthorn? She didn't expect this thing to appear in the Southern Dusk Empire. Leng Ruoxua took a bite. It tastes pretty good. The four of them shopped and ate for most of the day before returning to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion with some lingering feelings. What's the matter? After they returned, Leng Ruoxua and the others went directly to the conference room prepared for them in the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. As they entered, they felt that the atmosphere was a little off as soon. Miss, Tsong Min has been found, Fengde said softly. Found? Leng Ruoxua looked at Fengde doubtfully. Why is Elder Chiu's face so ugly then? Tsong Min refuses to come back to participate in the competition unless Elder Chiu fulfills her condition, Fengde explained. He knew very well what had happened because he found Tsong Min together with Elder Chiu. What condition? She requested Miss to withdraw from the competition, or else she would refuse to participate, Fengde said. That woman is really overestimating herself. How dare she use this to threaten us? Chapter 92, You've already got me, too, Elder Chiu. Tsong Min wants to withdraw from the competition. Leng Ruoxue walked directly to Elder Chiu after hearing what Feng De said. Yes. Let her withdraw then. Leng Ruoxue said indifferently. Ruoxue, if she doesn't participate, we have no one else for the artificer competition, Elder Chiu said gloomily. If Tsong Min didn't participate in the artificer competition, it would affect their final total score. But he could never agree to her condition. There's no one else. I'll go then. Leng Ruoxue said. She didn't want to be in the limelight, but there were always people who forced her into it. Can't they let me keep a low profile? You, Elder Chiu's eyes widened as he looked at Leng Ruoxue in disbelief. Does this girl know how to refine artifacts? Can't I? Leng Ruoxue stared at Elder Chiu unblinkingly. Yes, yes. Ruoxue, do you really know how to refine artifacts? Elder Chiu asked worriedly. A little, Leng Ruoxue said. She had only learned a little of her master's art of artificing, but it was enough to deal with such a competition. Leng Ruoxue's words made Leng Qingtian and the others speechless. If you only know a little, then those noble supreme artificers would have no jobs. It's good that you know a little. It's better than having no one participate. Elder Chiu said with relief, the worry from before vanishing. By the way, Ruoxue, I have to go to the Lunar Shadow Academy to draw lots and get our number later. Okay. Elder Chiu, what's the schedule for the competition the day after tomorrow? Leng Ruoxue asked. The first 3 days of the competition is called the Battle Royale, but it has nothing to do with our academy, Elder Chiu explained. What kind of Battle Royale? Leng Ruoxue asked. Sure, let me explain it to you. Leng Ruhan said. There are more than 150 major and minor academies on the Lingfeng continent. Each academy will send 30 spiritualists, which means there are thousands of competitors. Since there are too many people, it's impossible to engage in one-on-one battles, so the first 3 days will use the Battle Royale method to carry out the group stage. In the first Battle Royale, only the top 50 academies can advance to the next round of the competition. And after the 3-day Battle Royale, only 20 academies can remain to participate in the official competition. Therefore, the competition is very intense, Leng Ruhan explained. As the first runner-up last time, our academy doesn't need to participate in the group stage, Leng Ruhan added. Does that mean we have nothing to do for the first 3 days? Leng Ruoxue asked. How can we have nothing to do? We have to go and watch the battles. What if a dark horse appears? Elder Chiu said. You had to know thyself and thy enemy. Sure, the Battle Royale is very intense and interesting, Leng Ruhan said. Then let's check it out tomorrow. Leng Ruoxue said, seeing the interest from the others. Early the next day, they arrived at the competition venue of the Lunar Shadow Academy. Leng Ruoxue was too embarrassed to stay behind to nap after seeing the excited crowd, but she felt a little sleepy sitting in the seats that the Lunar Shadow Academy had arranged for them. Call me when the match begins. Leng Ruoxue closed her eyes after speaking. Okay, Leng Ruhan said lovingly. Sure, the group stage has begun, Yiqin said softly. Where's Big Brother? Leng Ruoxue slowly opened her beautiful eyes and looked around, but she didn't see Leng Ruhan. Hua Qing sent someone to invite him away, Yiqin explained. What? Leng Ruoxue immediately became awake when she heard this. She was really worried about her big brother being alone with those people. Don't worry. I got Feng De to follow him. No one will dare to let your precious big brother be wronged. Yiqin felt a little sour in his heart. When will Shuer care so much about me? Shuer is awake. Leng Ruhan returned just as he spoke. Big brother, are you okay? Leng Ruoxue asked worriedly. I'm fine, Leng Ruhan said with some amusement. Shuer is just too worried about me. The first round of the Battle Royale was divided into 5 groups. Each group had 30 academies, and only the top 10 would advance. That was to say, on the first day, 60 academies would not have the chance to enter the next round of the Battle Royale and would stop here in the academy competition. The time limit for each group round was 3 hours. After 3 hours, the academies would be scored and ranked according to the number of people on the field. There are many nobles from the Southern Dusk Empire here today, and the imperial family has sent their representatives, Ling Qingtian said as he casually glanced at the people sitting in the VIP seats. It might only be the group stage, but the competition is actually very intense. Moreover, many of the families here hope to choose some talents from among them for their own use, Elder Chiu explained. The group stage of the academy competition was not open to ordinary people. Even big families required an invitation if they wanted to watch them. Otherwise, they would not be able to enter at all. What if there's no one on the stage at the end of the 3 hours? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. That's impossible. Basically, during the first 2.5 hours of the Battle Royale, everyone will be observing and not attacking. The real competition will only begin in the last half hour, Leng Ruhan explained. Then why are we all sitting here? Why don't we just come for the last half hour? Leng Ruoxue said impatiently while looking at the team standing still on the stage. Are they just going to stare at each other like this? Lass, do you think those people are here to watch the battle? Leng Qingtian shook his head helplessly. Of course, she wouldn't think that they had nothing to do other than watch the battle. But sitting here was really boring. Moreover, Leng Ruoxue found that she seemed to be becoming more and more carefree now. It could be said that this was her nature. Shuer, do you see the man in the crimson outfit? Leng Ruhan pointed at the conspicuous man in crimson on the stage. Yes, is there a problem with him? Shuer, his name is Di Fei. He's the top expert of the Flying Bird Academy. He is very strong, and he came in 4th in the last individual competition, Leng Ruhan explained. Peak spiritual monarch, Leng Ruoxue said while looking at Di Fei carefully. 3 years ago, he was only an elementary spiritual monarch. He is 5th on the genius rankings, Leng Ruhan said. Chapter 93, You've Already Got Me. 3. The man in blue sitting over at the Lunar Shadow Academy is Pang Sen, the top genius of the Lunar Shadow Academy. He was 3rd in the last individual competition, and he is 3rd on the genius rankings. He also has a twin brother named Pang Lin, who ranks 9th on the genius rankings, and he was 8th in the previous individual competition. As for the Rising Dragon Academy, in addition to Huqing, Yi Shao is also very difficult to deal with. He ranks 4th on the genius rankings and obtained 5th in the previous individual competition, Leng Ruhan continued to introduce. They would all be Shuer's biggest opponents. Big brother, only Huqing is my match among these people, Leng Ruoxue said confidently. Yes, Huqing is now an intermediate spiritual sovereign. Shuer, you have to be careful. Leng Ruhan reminded her. As the young master of the Hua family, Huqing definitely had more tricks up his sleeves than everyone had seen. Big brother, don't worry. I'll be careful. After waiting for more than 2 hours, the people on the battlefield finally began to move. Bang! 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 People were constantly being kicked out of the arena. As time passed, the chaotic battle royale on the stage became more and more intense. More and more people were thrown out of the arena, and those who remained were even more careful. With the blow of a whistle, everyone in the arena stopped at the same time. After the referee counted the number of people on stage, he immediately arranged for the second group to go on stage. The first day of the competition was over after 3 groups finished competing. Leng Ruoxue and the others returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion and had an early rest after dinner. On the second day of the Battle Royale, there were only 2 groups competing. Just like yesterday, the final half hour was the real battle. After the 5 rounds were over, the 50 academies that advanced to the next round of the Battle Royale were out. The third day of the competition was the last day of the Academy Battle Royale, and also the most important day. After drawing lots, the 50 academies were divided into 2 groups. After the 2 rounds were over, another 30 academies were eliminated. In addition to the champion, second place, and third place of the last academy competition, a total of 23 academies qualified to participate in the following competition. After the battle royale ended, there would be a 2-day break before the other competitions. On the 5th floor of the elegant Lagoon Pavilion, in the guest room of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy. Elder Chiu, tell us the rules of the competition. Len Ruoxue said. Tomorrow was the true academy competition. Okay, the academy competition will begin with the spiritualist competition. First, it will be the preliminaries for the team competition. The 30 spiritualists of each academy will split up into 5 teams, and then the teams will draw lots and be divided into 5 groups to carry out the preliminaries. There will be 5 stages for the preliminaries at the same time, and the winners will enter the second round of the preliminaries. Tomorrow is the first round, and there will be 3 groups competing. 2 teams from our academy will participate. Lin Yuan and Mu Li, you two are the leaders. You have to work hard tomorrow. We will go and cheer for you too, Elder Chiu said. Elder Chiu, don't worry. We will definitely advance, Lin Yuan promised confidently. That's good. To be honest, he didn't know much about the true strength of these students. They all like to pretend to be weak to take advantage of others like Ruoxue after all. Elder Chiu, this is only the first preliminary round. What will happen in the later rounds if you're so worried? Len Ruoxue couldn't help asking the nervous Elder Chiu. I'm not worried. I'm just afraid that they will be nervous, Elder Chiu lied. It was their first time participating in such a large-scale competition after all. Who knows who the nervous one is? Len Ruoxue was speechless at Elder Chiu's stubbornness, but she didn't intend to expose him. There are matches tomorrow, so everyone should rest early today. Len Ruoxue returned to her room after speaking. Early the next morning, Len Ruoxue and the others arrived at the competition venue on time. After the host announced the rules and said a bunch of encouragement, the competition officially began. You can stick your number on your clothes now, Elder Chiu reminded them before the Heavenly Phoenix Academy's teams went on stage. Okay. Good luck. In contrast to Elder Chiu's nervousness, Len Ruoxue was much more relaxed. She was very confident in the strength of her subordinates. It was just the preliminaries and not a big deal. I'm hungry. Let's go have something to eat. I heard the food in the Lunar Shadow Academy's dining hall is pretty good, Len Ruoxue whispered to Yichen, who was sitting beside her. Okay, Yichen naturally had no objections to eating. The two of them stood up, left the competition venue as if no one else was here, and headed straight for the dining hall. Since everyone was watching the competition and it was not time to eat yet, there were not many people in the dining hall. After ordering their food, they found a window seat and sat down. Move aside. This is my spot. A female voice suddenly sounded in their ears. The two of them, who were eating, looked up at the woman with displeasure and then lowered their heads again to continue eating. Did you hear me? Go away. This is the spot I like. The woman was a little mad at being ignored. Scram. Yichen raised his head in displeasure and spat out a single word to express his thoughts. You. How dare you? Do you know who I am? The woman roared angrily. She originally had a good impression of this incomparably handsome man and even planned to let him be her man. But she didn't expect this man to ignore her existence or to act so ungentlemanly. Such a crude and uneducated man isn't worthy of me at all. I don't care who you are. Get lost. Don't disturb us while we're eating, Yichen said unhappily. Where did this fly come from? How annoying. Just you wait. This princess won't let you off. The woman glared at them fiercely and then left angrily. You guys are in big trouble. That woman is the Northern Frost Empire's most beloved little princess. A boy, who was also eating in the dining hall, came over quietly to inform them. Chapter 94, You've already got me, princess. So what? Len Ruoshua looked up at the boy who told them the information. Why are there so many princesses in this world? I seem to meet these so-called princesses everywhere I go. The boy didn't know what to say after seeing their calm reactions. Moreover, this girl was so beautiful. He was so nervous that he didn't dare to take a second look and could only return to his seat. Len Ruoshua and Yichen finished eating and returned to the competition venue. As soon as they returned, they received Elder Chio's glare. Where did you two go? Elder Chio growled. We were hungry, so we went to eat. Why, you've gone too far. Elder Chio, food is everything to people. Of course, we have to eat when we're hungry. How did we go too far? Len Ruoshua said in disapproval. Our academy is competing, yet you guys went to eat. Isn't this too much? Elder Chio was fuming. Elder Chio, calm down. You're too nervous, Yichen teased. This old man is quite cute. Miss, our match is over. Can we go back now? Fengde walked over and asked. Oh, then let's go back. Just like that, Len Ruoshua and the others ignored Elder Chio's scowl and returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. The other two groups' matches for the first round of the preliminaries were scheduled for the next day. Len Ruoxu's, Feng Moran's, and Feng Das teams all successfully entered the second round. In addition, the teams from the Rising Dragon Academy and the Lunar Shadow Academy also entered the second round of the preliminaries without any suspense. Over the next 3 days, 2 more rounds of preliminaries were held, and finally, 10 teams advanced to the semifinals. When the list of who advanced came out, Elder Chio was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth. All 5 teams from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy had advanced, while only 3 teams from the most powerful Rising Dragon Academy and 2 teams from the Lunar Shadow Academy had advanced to the top 10. Elder Chio, congratulations. Many elders came forward to congratulate him. We just got lucky, Elder Chio said modestly, but he was very pleased in his heart. Ruoshua, it's really too enjoyable this time, Elder Chio said happily. Their academy had been suppressed by the Rising Dragon Academy for many years, and it had been a long time since they were so happy. Elder Chio, it's not the finals yet. Aren't you a little too happy too early? Len Ruoshua said. This old man is a little too smug. Hee, I'm just too happy. Elder Chio said, a little embarrassed. Let's go back. After a 2-day break, the semifinals officially began. After drawing lots, the 10 teams were divided into 5 groups, and the winner would advance to the finals. The Heavenly Phoenix Academy was considered lucky, and its teams didn't have to face each other. However, Lin Yuan's and Hua Qing's teams would be against each other. It's okay. It's just Hua Qing. I'm not afraid of him, Lin Yuan said nonchalantly. That's right. There's nothing to be afraid of. His reputation is just a little better than ours, Fengde added. Elder Chio, I told you he's fine. Don't worry, Len Ruoshua said. At this time, the more everyone cared about Lin Yuan, the greater his pressure would be. But, Elder Chio wanted to say something more but was interrupted. Old man Chio, Lin Yuan's strength isn't as good as Hua Qing. It's reasonable if he loses. It's not a big deal. Leng Qingtian said. It was just a competition and not a battle of life and death. The teams from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy entered the stage one by one, and Len Ruoxu's, Feng Moran's, Mu Li's, and Feng Das teams all won their matches. Only Lin Yuan's and Hua Qing's had yet to compete. Everyone's attention was on the last 2 teams because everyone was curious whether the Heavenly Phoenix Academy could take the top 5 spots in the team competition after their outstanding performance so far. Or could the Rising Dragon Academy protect its last dignity? The match between the 2 teams was as exciting as the fight for the champion and second place. Looking at the 2 teams on the arena, everyone couldn't help but hold their breath for fear of missing any battle. You are very strong. Hua Qing couldn't help but say. He had always thought that Leng Ruhan was his greatest opponent, and he didn't expect so many geniuses to emerge from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy this year. You are very strong too, Lin Yuan said as he wiped the blood off the corner of his mouth. He was looking forward to the battle between this man and his young lady. Do you still want to continue fighting? Hua Qing asked. Yes. We haven't lost yet, Lin Yuan said. Even though there was a gap in strength, they wouldn't admit defeat easily. Come on then. Hua Qing admired his will and spirit. Both of them used their unique skills, and the spiritual power on the stage dazzled everyone's eyes. The two of them fought for dozens of rounds, and the stage completely became their battlefield. Everyone else was just background. It was not until Lin Yuan used the last bit of his spiritual power and fainted that the match ended. This should be the most difficult battle since the start of the competition. Lin Yuan's team might have lost, but it was a glorious defeat. No one dared to look down on him. Although Hua Qing's team won, it was a tragic victory. Who asked you to work so hard? Do you want to die? Leng Ruoxue said unpleasantly while looking at Lin Yuan, who had woken up after being carried off the stage by his teammates. Miss, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Lin Yuan saw that Leng Ruoxue was angry and quickly admitted his mistake. He knew that he had made his young lady worry. Eat this. Leng Ruoxue threw a pill to Lin Yuan and then ignored him. After the matches, everyone returned to their residences. On the way, Lin Yuan kept sneaking glances at Leng Ruoxue. But she didn't even look at him, completely ignoring him. After a day of rest, the finals of the team competition officially began. The finals would be a round-robin system to determine the final score. Dear guests and students, today is the last day of the team competition. The champion of the team competition will be born after today. Let us all wait and see. After the host stirred up the emotions of the audience, the day's matches began. Chapter 95, You've Already Got Me, 5. Leng Ruoxue's team was the first to go on stage today, and her last opponent was the team led by Hua Qing. On the arena, Leng Ruoxue sized up the composed Hua Qing. Today was the last battle of the team competition. In the previous 3 matches, Leng Ruoxue's team had won complete victories, so she would still be the champion of the team competition even if she lost this match. But Hua Qing's situation was different. In the last 3 matches, Hua Qing's team had lost to Mu Lise, tied with big brother Feng's, and only won 1 victory against Feng Das. The pressure on Hua Qing was tremendous, and this stunning genius probably never expected such a situation to happen. However, this was a team competition after all, and the overall strength was more important. Even if he was a genius, it was useless without good teammates. While Leng Ruhan was sizing Hua Qing up, he was also sizing her up. This beautiful girl was Leng Ruhan's sister and used to be a simpleton. But after a few days of observation, he found that this girl was harder to deal with than her elder brother because he still couldn't tell what her strength was until now. Moreover, she seemed to win every battle very easily, as though she didn't use her full strength at all. You are the strongest opponent I have ever met, Hua Qing said. He was helpless against such a strong opponent because the strength of his teammates was not comparable in the team competition. But he had to compete with her in the individual competition. This seemingly weak and beautiful girl had already aroused his intense fighting spirit. Likewise, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. She knew that the team competition wouldn't allow Hua Qing to unleash his full strength. The real competition between them was the individual competition. Let's end this quickly, Leng Ruoxue said. Okay. He didn't want to waste time. The 2 teams got into formation and began to attack the opponents according to the pre-planned strategy. Soon, 2 people from Hua Qing's team were eliminated, and then Hua Qing declared their defeat. In less than 10 minutes, Hua Qing announced his defeat, much to the disappointment of many people who wanted to watch a good show. They originally thought that this battle would be very interesting, but it ended so quickly. Leng Ruoxue became famous because of her outstanding performance in the entire team competition. In the end, Leng Ruoxue and her team won the team competition. Mu Li's team was in second place, Hua Qing's and Feng Moran's teams tied for third place, and Feng Da's team was in fourth place. After the team competition, the academies were also ranked. Only the top 10 academies were eligible to participate in the individual competition. After the spiritualist team competition, it was the alchemist competition. The alchemist competition was divided into preliminaries, semi-final, and final. As there were only 20 or so alchemists participating in the competition was scheduled to take place over 2 days. The first day was the preliminaries, which was divided into 2 rounds. The first round would be to concoct a designated pill chosen by the judges, who would provide the raw materials for the pills. The second round was for the students to concoct the pills that they were best at, and the judges would grade the pills. The judges of the competition were professional alchemists sent by the Alchemist Association, and this competition could also be considered a competition for the Alchemist Association to select talents. On the day of the alchemy preliminaries, Leng Ruoxue and the others accompanied Lu Yan to the competition venue. Lu Yan, remember, your ranking isn't important. It's enough for you to unleash your full strength, Leng Ruoxue said to Lu Yan, who was about to go on stage. Yes, I will, Lu Yan said gratefully. It was his first time participating in such an important competition, and he was indeed under a lot of pressure. The first round's designated pill was only an elementary level pill, the amplification pill, and it wasn't difficult for the 20 or so alchemists present to concoct. The test for this round was not whether they could concoct the pill. It mainly tested whether the alchemists' foundations were strong, which was very important for alchemists. As the last alchemists on the field extinguished their flames, the more than 20 alchemists completed their first test. They were only waiting for the judges to grade them now. In the first test of concocting the designated pill, Lu Yan obtained second place. Ranked above him was a genius from the Rising Dragon Academy's Alchemy Division, Lu Qing. Second place, that's great. Elder Chiu said excitedly. Lu Yan was the number 1 person in their Heavenly Phoenix Academy's Alchemy Division. Elder Chiu, the preliminaries aren't over yet. Leng Ruoxue poured cold water on him. This old man has been a little too excited these days. Elder Chiu also felt that he had been a little too smug. The second round was to concoct the pills that they were best at. Leng Ruoxue knew that Lu Yan wanted to concoct an intermediate pill, the essence-enhancing pill. It was a pill that you had to master to become an alchemist. The grades of pills were divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, earth grade, and heaven grade. Each grade was also divided into low, middle, and high. Apprentice alchemists had to be able to concoct elementary pills, alchemists had to be able to concoct intermediate pills, and so on. Concocting pills that matched the level of the alchemist was also an important basis for the assessment of the alchemist. The more than 20 students on the field methodically threw the medicinal herbs into the pill furnace in order. After the medicinal herbs melted, they condensed the pills according to alchemist techniques until the pills were ready. Seeing that the students on stage had completed their concocting, the crowd below the stage waited patiently for the judges' scores. About half an hour late, the results were finally out. Lu Yan was still second and had successfully entered the semi-final. A total of 10 alchemists advanced to the semi-final, and only 3 alchemists could enter the final, so the semi-final would be very intense. At the residence of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy in the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Lu Yan, tell me if you don't have enough medicinal herbs. Leng Ruoxue came to Lu Yan's room and said to Lu Yan, who was practicing. Then she didn't bother him anymore and conveniently dragged away Elder Chiu, who came along with her. Ruoxue, why didn't you let me speak? Elder Chiu asked in puzzlement. Don't give him pressure. He's the number 1 genius of our Academy's Alchemist Division. You should have confidence in him, Leng Ruoxue said. Of course, I have confidence in him. I just want to encourage him. Elder Chiu said aggrievedly. Chapter 96, You've already got me already. 6. There's no need, Leng Ruoxue said and forcefully dragged Elder Chiu away. This old man has to change his habit of encouraging people whenever they go on stage to compete. What's wrong with this old man? Why does his face look so awful? Leng Qingtian asked in puzzlement when he saw the two of them walking out of Lu Yan's room in the corridor. I asked him not to pressure Lu Yan, so I didn't let him speak, Leng Ruoxue explained. This old man is just too nervous, Leng Qingtian said understandingly. The elders of the various academies were very concerned about their academy's results. Yes. Leng Ruoxue nodded in agreement. Grandpa, rest early. Okay. There was only one round for the semi-final and final on the second day. Each person would concoct 2 kinds of pills, and they would obtain the final total score. After the semi-final in the morning, Lu Yan still entered the final with second place. The final in the afternoon attracted many families. The Alchemist Association of Lunar Capital also sent a vice president to serve as a judge to show how much importance it placed on the competition. Hey, have you heard? Lu Qing, who was first in the semi-final, is the beloved disciple of one of the vice presidents of the Alchemist Association, someone below the stage said softly. Really? Then won't he win for sure? This isn't fair to others, right? Another person commented. There's no such thing as absolute fairness in this world. Power, status, and fairness all exist. But I don't think the people of the Alchemist Association would dare to be blatantly biased in front of everyone, right? Another person joined the discussion. Why are there so many people all of a sudden? Leng Ruoxue asked in bewilderment when she saw the audience full of people. The finals are open to ordinary people, but only 300 are allowed, Leng Ruhan explained. The finals of the other competitions were open to ordinary people except for the spiritualist team competition. This was the usual practice for every competition. I see. But aren't they too noisy? Leng Ruoxue said worriedly. This kind of competition required full concentration, and it might affect the competitor's performance if it was too noisy. Don't worry. They will quiet down once the competition officially begins, Leng Ruhan said. Sure enough, everyone was silent when the final officially began. All their eyes were on the 3 people competing on stage. In addition to Lu Yan and Lu Qing from the Rising Dragon Academy, there was another student from the Lunar Shadow Academy named Li Yuan. The 3 of them were alchemists, and the pill that all of them selected to concoct was the Replenishing Spirit Pill. The Replenishing Spirit Pill was an intermediate pill that had to be mastered by alchemists and was also a very common pill. It was mainly used to recover spiritual power, so the demand for replenishing spirit pills was very high. In order to concoct good pills, besides the alchemist techniques, controlling the flame was also very important. Moreover, the mental strength of alchemists had a decisive effect on the quality of their pills, mainly because the mental strength required to concoct pills was very high. If the mental strength was not enough, there was no way to finally form the pills, no matter how well the prior steps were done. What pill does Lu Yan want to concoct? Elder Chiu asked in bewilderment as he watched Lu Yan take out medicinal herbs one by one from his ring. Lu Yan had already completed one kind of pill and was preparing to concoct a second one. Spiritual Essence Pill, Leng Ruoxue said indifferently. What? SPI Spiritual Essence Pill? Elder Chiu's jaw almost fell off from shock. Only a master alchemist could concoct spiritual essence pills. Wasn't that ridiculous? This is too ridiculous. Elder Chiu was fuming. Not necessarily. Leng Ruoxue said. She had known that this would be Elder Chiu's reaction, so she didn't tell him in advance. In fact, Lu Yan had looked for her last night and told her that he wanted to concoct spiritual essence pills, but he was a little nervous because the success rate had always been low. She encouraged Lu Yan to do as he wished without needing to think about the results. It seemed that Lu Yan took her words seriously. Elder Chiu, Lu Yan will still be in the top 3 even if he fails the concocting. But he will be first if he succeeds. Leng Ruoxue reminded. That's true. Elder Chiu calmed down after hearing what she said. Alas. It seems I'm really old now. I just can't keep up with the boldness of youth. On the stage, Lu Yan threw the medicinal herbs into the furnace according to the steps and carefully controlled the size of the flame. After the medicinal herbs melted, he began to purify them. When the medicinal liquid of only the size of a baby's fist was left and could no longer be purified, he began the final step of condensing the pill. Everyone's eyes were focused on Lu Yan, especially the judges on the stage, as the other two people had already completed their pills. They all stared at Lu Yan without blinking. If he really could concoct spiritual essence pills, he could be promoted to Master Alchemist. Lu Qing and Li Yuan also stared at Lu Yan because Lu Yan's performance determined their fate. After a while, Lu Yan finally completed the last step. Everyone's hearts, including his own, jumped to their throats when he opened the pill furnace. When he saw the 3 pure white pills in the middle of the furnace, the joy in Lu Yan's heart was indescribable. It was a success. Yes. We did it. Elder Chiu exclaimed excitedly. Len Ruoxue looked indifferently at the 3 competitors and the judges with varying expressions on the stage, taking in their thoughts. The 3 competitors were all alchemists, but Lu Yan concocted spiritual essence pills. This was enough to show that Lu Yan's strength had already surpassed the alchemy genius Lu Qing of the Rising Dragon Academy. But Lu Qing was also the disciple of a vice president of the Alchemist Association, so she really looked forward to the judging panel's evaluation. This time, the evaluation took much longer than the previous evaluation. The judges on stage were discussing softly, and the audience below the stage were whispering among themselves. After nearly an hour, the judges' score was out. Lu Yan and Lu Qing tied for first place. The reason was that the success rate of spiritual essence pills was too unstable and couldn't be used as the only basis for evaluation, so Lu Yan's strength currently couldn't be determined. If he wanted to determine his level, he had to go to the Alchemist Association. Chapter 97, Concentrated is the Essence, 1, Disappointed. Len Ruoxue asked Lu Yan as he came down from the stage. I'm not disappointed. I was prepared for it. Lu Yan smiled calmly. Before he came to the competition, his master had reminded him, so he was prepared for it. This is too much. How can they do this? Elder Chiu said angrily. Elder Chiu, why are you so angry when even Lu Yan isn't angry? Len Ruoxue said with some amusement while looking at the fuming Elder Chiu. Aren't you angry? Elder Chiu asked. No, I'm not angry. That Lu Qing is the beloved disciple of a vice president of the Alchemist Association. Those judges definitely wouldn't dare to offend him. Moreover, the eyes of the crowd are bright. Everyone knows who the true number 1 is. Why compete for that false reputation? Len Ruoxue explained. Well, that's true. Elder Chiu said after some thought. Lu Yan, since you've decided to follow me, then you must remember that people with true strength don't need to rely on false reputations to make a name for themselves, Len Ruoxue said very seriously. Everyone had their own ethics and principles, and this had always been one of her standards in dealing with others. Okay, I will remember, Lu Yan said. This was also what he really admired about Len Ruoxue. He knew that she had always liked to keep a low profile. Let's go back. Go out through the back, Len Ruoxue reminded. If Feng De and the others hadn't blocked the way, who knows how many people would have pestered Lu Yan now. Okay. After the alchemist competition ended, the beast trainer competition began the next day. Beast trainers consumed a lot of mental strength to tame spirit beasts, and there were only a few competitors, so there was only one competition for beast trainers. The rule of the beast trainer competition was that whoever teamed the most spirit beasts within the allotted time would be the champion. On the day of the beast trainer competition, Len Ruoxue and the others accompanied Hu Bin to the competition venue early as usual. Hu Bin was the representative of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy's beast trainer division, and he had been getting along very well with them all along the way. Hu Bin, you can do it. Good luck. Feng De and the others came to the side of the stage to cheer for Hu Bin, who was about to compete. I will do my best, Hu Bin said confidently. His beast trainer skills had improved a lot recently. There were only 12 people participating in the beast trainer competition. Most of the students were at the beast trainer level, and 2 of them were master beast trainers. Hu Bin was the 7th to go on stage. For the first 6 people, the most number of advanced spirit beasts anyone tamed was 5. After Hu Bin went on stage, he tamed 10 advanced spirit beasts easily, 3 of which were level 7, 3 were level 8, and 4 were level 9. This result was already very amazing for beast trainers. After taming 10 advanced spirit beasts, he walked to the cages with the holy beasts. Beast trainers had to be at least a master beast trainer to tame the most elementary holy beasts, so the holy beasts in the cages were only at level 1 or 2. What is he doing? Don't tell me he wants to tame a holy beast, someone below the stage couldn't help whispering. How is that possible? He's only a beast trainer. How can he tame a holy beast? Is he tired of living? Another person chimed in. Ruoxue, could Hu Bin be thinking of taming a holy beast? Elder Chiu couldn't help asking, his heart in his throat. That's possible, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. This nonsense. A beast trainer wanting to tame a holy beast, does he want to die? Elder Chiu said angrily. Why are all of them making me worry? The mental strength of a beast trainer was not enough to tame a holy beast, and the consequences of failure would be a backlash. He would either become a fool or lose his life. That old man from the beast trainer division would find trouble with him regardless of whether Hu Bin became a fool or lost his life. Boo-hoo, these damn children. While Elder Chiu was stomping his feet, Hu Bin had already begun to tame a holy beast. He successfully tamed the holy beast about half an hour later. Elder Chiu looked at the situation on the stage and was so surprised that his jaw almost fell off. He did it. He actually did it. Hu Bin successfully tamed another holy beast before the time limit. Currently, Hu Bin was in first place with 10 advanced spirit beasts and 2 elementary holy beasts. There were another 5 people after him. After finishing his match, Hu Bin walked down from the stage very calmly. Hu Bin, you're not bad, Elder Chiu said happily. Beast trainers had always been the weakest division for their academy. He didn't expect Hu Bin to bring glory to their academy today. Let's see who dares to say that our academy can't produce a beast trainer in the future. It's all thanks to Miss, Hu Bin said shyly. He had also begun addressing Leng Ruoxue as Miss like Feng De and the others ever since he started following Leng Ruoxue like Lu Yan. Lass, why don't I be your subordinate too? Elder Chiu said flatteringly, and he actually addressed her as Lass instead of Ruoxue. Along the way, Leng Ruoxue had won over his heart, and he had often subconsciously regarded her as their core. He didn't even feel that anything was amiss with it. Let's talk about it when you're free, Leng Ruoxue teased before turning to leave. Tomorrow was the artificer competition, so she had to go back early to prepare. What does this girl mean? Elder Chiu asked in puzzlement as he watched Leng Ruoxue walk away. Don't you understand? You're not free now, Feng De said with a smile, leaving the struggling Elder Chiu behind. The Heavenly Phoenix Academy student was done with this competition anyway, so there was no point in staying. After the Beast Trainer competition ended, Hu Bin might have only come in third, but it was already the best result the Heavenly Phoenix Academy had ever achieved. In the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Shuer, what are you thinking about? Yichen couldn't help asking curiously when he saw her staring blankly into space in the guest room. I'm thinking about tomorrow's artificer competition, Leng Ruoxue said softly. Are you worried that you won't be able to refine a treasured artifact? Yichen said with a chuckle. Chapter 98, Concentrated is the Essence, 2, yeah. Leng Ruoxue was a little depressed. Artificing was the same as alchemy. The flames used were the fire attribute of the Bodhi's natal flame, but the natal flame also had levels, mainly divided into the grades of earth, heaven, and divine. The natal flame in her body was a divine grade flame. The purity of the divine grade flame was very high, so the quality of the equipment refined was also the highest. And tomorrow's competition was the same as the alchemist competition. There was a round of basic skill assessment, but now even the equipment she casually refined was a sacred artifact. Alas, it seems like you'll have to forfeit the first round tomorrow. If you can't refine it, so be it. Stop thinking about it and rest early. Yuqin said. He didn't want Shuer to be upset over such a trivial matter. Okay, I'm going to bed. Hurry up and go. The top 20 academies had representatives to participate in the artificer competition. The rules of the competition were similar to the ones of the alchemist competition. But because of the uniqueness of artificing, only 2 rounds would be held, and the judges finalized the winner. On the day of the competition, Len Ruoxue walked into the venue under the crowd's escort. The audience was surprised when they saw that it was Len Ruoxue participating in the competition. Len Ruoxue's performance in the team competition was really too breathtaking. People were amazed. A powerful spiritualist coupled with the noble status of an artificer, is this still possible? Hey, what's the matter? An audience member asked the person next to him in a low voice. Many people were stunned when they saw the girl. She was really too beautiful. That girl is the champion of the team competition. I didn't expect her to be an artificer. This is too shocking, an audience member who knew the situation explained. Really? Are you sure? Someone asked doubtfully. Of course. I watched the team competition, the person said proudly. The team competition isn't open to ordinary people. How did you get in? Another person asked with a puzzled face. Of course. It's none of your business, the person roared in anger. The host took the lead to go on stage. Everyone, please be quiet. The competition is about to begin. Now, let us welcome the participating artificers onto the stage. The moment the host finished speaking, the competitors walked onto the stage in an orderly manner, found their place, and began preparing. After the judges gave the order, the already prepared artificers began to focus on artificing. Every artificer carefully followed the steps and threw the materials into the furnace in order. But only Len Ruoxue didn't do anything. What's wrong with this girl? Why isn't she moving? Elder Chiu asked in bewilderment. Elder Chiu, do you think that person is Tsong Min? Feng De deliberately averted Elder Chiu's gaze. Where? It is her. Damn it. She's actually representing the Lunar Shadow Academy in the competition. Elder Chiu's face twisted in anger when he saw the school badge on Tsong Min. What is she trying to do? Elder Chiu, Tsong Min obviously isn't a good person. And you still treat her as a treasure, Lin Yuan said disdainfully. Well, she's the most qualified student in our artificer division after all. It's normal to treat her better than the other students. Elder Chiu wiped the sweat off his forehead. Our young lady said that aptitude and whatnot aren't important. Character is the most important, Lin Yuan said. He increasingly understood how reasonable the words of his young lady were after being together with her for a long time. That girl is a monster, Elder Chiu couldn't help saying. What? Can't refine anything? Do you think anyone can be an artificer? Tsong Min, who had completed her refinement, looked at Len Ruoxue with some jealousy and provoked her. She was an artificer with a heaven-grade natal flame and a boundless future. How could a simpleton compare to her? I don't need you to worry about me. Just take care of yourself, Len Ruoxue said indifferently. She didn't even have the desire to attack such a clown. I'm just being nice, yet you don't appreciate it. Tsong Min said aggrievedly. Len Ruoxue was speechless. Why do these people like acting so much? Aren't they tired? You're still a student of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy, aren't you? But you're actually representing the Lunar Shadow Academy in the competition, Len Ruoxue said mockingly. She originally didn't want to bother with her, but she just had to cause trouble. So why should she be polite then? Humph. I'm no longer a student of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy, Song Min said nonchalantly. Is that up to you? Have you completed the procedures? Leng Ruoxue asked. The academies had a consensus on student management in order to prevent students from being poached by other academies. Students who had not completed any withdrawal procedures were still considered students of the academy. Do I need to worry about such a small matter? Someone will arrange it for me, Song Min said proudly. The Lunar Shadow Academy treated her much better than the Heavenly Phoenix Academy, which greatly satisfied her vanity. Then I wish you success. Leng Ruoxue said indifferently and then ignored her. After the first round ended, Song Min came in second. The first was Wang Wei, the artificing genius of the Rising Dragon Institute. Leng Ruoxue was last because she didn't refine the required equipment. The artificer could choose the equipment they were good at and refine it for the second round. The second round of the competition just began, and the participating students already seized the time to smelt the materials. Artificing and alchemy were different. Most of the materials used for artificing were very hard, so the time to melt them was relatively long. Moreover, it had to be purified after melting, and then it had to be molded and tempered. The steps were more complicated than alchemy, and the time taken was also longer. While the others were smelting materials, Leng Ruoxue was not in a hurry to start. She was thinking about the equipment she wanted to refine. After deciding, Leng Ruoxue began to work. She first lit the furnace fire and then threw the materials into the furnace one by one. After the materials melted into liquid, she removed the impurities and purified them. After condensing the liquid into the size of a baby's fist, she began to shape it according to her imagination and finally tempered it. Although Leng Ruoxue was the last to start, she was the first to finish. After she completed the last step, the people below the stage could finally see clearly that she was holding a palm-sized man's clothing and pants. The clothing might be small, but the style was novel, and it was in a style they had never seen before. But could such a small piece of clothing be worn? The people below the stage couldn't help being a little puzzled. Chapter 99, Concentrated is the Essence, 3. Leng Ruoxue looked at the clothes in her hand with satisfaction. They should be regarded as battle armor, but she had refined it into leisure wear. As for the grade, it was naturally a sacred artifact. An inconspicuous old man on the judging panel looked at Leng Ruoxue with bright eyes, as if he wanted to swallow her alive. The legendary divine flame. The old man never dreamed that he would actually see the legendary flame. You had to know that flames were crucial for artificers and alchemists. The higher the level of the flame, the higher the quality of the refined equipment or concocted pills. Therefore, the level of the battle armor was definitely not low. But what was even more unexpected was that someone actually knew the legendary divine refining technique. You had to know that ordinary refining techniques were not able to refine battle armor and other equipment of such a small size. Only the legendary divine refining technique could do so. The divine refining technique. He had only heard it from his master, so no one else on the Ling Feng continent knew about it except him. The legendary divine flame. The legendary divine refining technique. Who exactly is this girl? Her talent really makes it so that people can't even be jealous of her. Is this what you refined? That's right. A tiny flame like yours is only enough to refine such a small thing. Song Min walked to Leng Ruoxue and mocked her. She almost laughed when she saw the flame that wasn't even as big as a fingernail in Leng Ruoxue's hand. How can such a small flame refine artifacts? What is concentrated is the essence. It would be a waste of the flame if I used any more than necessary, Leng Ruoxue said indifferently. You sure are frugal. But if the judges don't like this thing you refined, you will really be at the bottom, Song Min gloated. She would be happy to see Leng Ruoxue make a fool of herself. You're not a judge. How can you be sure that the judging panel won't take a liking to it? Leng Ruoxue said nonchalantly. She really didn't care about the rankings. She knew very well what her standard was, and she didn't need others to evaluate her. Humph. Well, see, Song Min said angrily and returned to her spot. Swear, what did you refine? Armor? Feng Moran asked curiously when he saw Leng Ruoxue coming down from the stage. Yes, armor, Leng Ruoxue said. Lass, everyone is waiting for the results on stage. Why did you come down? Elder Chiu asked worriedly when he saw only Leng Ruoxue coming down the stage. Ruoxue's behavior would be regarded as rude by the proud judges, and the results wouldn't be good for Ruoxue then. I'm tired. I'm going back to rest. Remember to help me get my armor back. Leng Ruoxue glanced at Elder Chiu. She knew that this old man would never leave before the results were out. Leng Ruoxue and Yichen returned to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. I'm going to sleep. Don't disturb me if there's nothing important, Leng Ruoxue said to Freak before entering the room. Yes, I know. I'm sorry, everyone. My young lady is resting and will not entertain guests. Feng De blocked the door of Leng Ruoxue's room while speaking to the people who wanted to see his young lady. Why are these people so annoying? I said that she wouldn't entertain guests, but not only aren't they leaving, but they actually want to force their way in. What's going on outside? Why is it so noisy? Leng Ruoxue opened her eyes in displeasure in the room. She hated being disturbed while sleeping. Master, a lot of people are outside, said Charm, who had been lying in Leng Ruoxue's arms. Go and see who they are. Leng Ruoxue said angrily. Upon hearing this, Charm transformed into a ray of white light and left the room. He returned in no time. People from the Artificer Association and prominent families want to see you, Charm explained. Why do they want to see me? Leng Ruoxue said impatiently. Swear, you're awake. Leng Ruhan knocked on the door softly and walked in. Swear, the people from the Artificer Association want to see you, Leng Ruhan said. They had sent away the people from the prominent families, but the people from the Artificer Association were unwilling to leave. No, I want to sleep, Leng Ruoxue said willfully. I just want to sleep. Boo-hoo. Why is it so difficult to get some sleep? Swear, Grandpa said that it's best not to offend people from the Artificer Association, Leng Ruhan said. He knew that Swear had no plans to join the Artificer Association. But the status of the Artificer Association was extraordinary, so it was only right to befriend them if possible. All right then. Leng Ruoxue said after some thought. In fact, she was very clear about the purpose of the Artificer Association and didn't want to have any contact with its people. After getting up, Leng Ruoxue washed up, walked out of the room, and went straight to the reception room. When Leng Ruoxue entered the reception room, she saw an ordinary-looking thin old man sitting beside her grandfather and chatting with him. Two middle-aged men were standing behind the old man. Grandpa. Swear is here. Swear, this old gentleman is the representative of the Artificer Association, Leng Qingtian introduced. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Leng Ruoxue said courteously. She knew this old man. He was one of the judges of the Artificer competition. It's okay. I know you've all been exhausted these days, the old man said amiably, without any displeasure on his face. I'm Leng Ruoxue. May I know your good name? Little girl, am I that old? I really like you, little girl. I want to be good friends with you. I don't know if you're willing to give me some face, the old man said pitifully. Leng Ruoxue was at a loss for words. Is this old man being coquettish? She wasn't the only one. Leng Qingtian and the two middle-aged men behind the old man were also embarrassed. Little girl, I'll take your silence as consent, the old man said cunningly, his eyes flashing rapidly. Leng Ruoxue nodded helplessly. It seemed like this old man was planning to rely on her, but she was not afraid of whatever his motive was. Come and greet your junior aunt, you two brats, the old man hollered. Greetings, junior aunt, the two middle-aged men said obediently. Chapter 100, Concentrated is the Essence. 4. Len Ruoxue was flabbergasted. Junior aunt. How did I become a junior aunt? Elderly, don't call me elderly. Just call me Old Man Zao, the old man protested. All right then, Old Man Zao. I'm not their junior aunt. Len Ruoxue said. This old man's identity was a mystery, and she really didn't want to have too much involvement with him. Why aren't you? We're on par, and they're my disciples, so of course they have to call you junior aunt, the old man said very matter-of-factly. Len Ruoxue was really speechless about the old man's thoughts. Must this old man insist on being related to me? Junior aunt, please take care of us in the future, the two middle-aged men said tactfully. Following whatever their master said would definitely not go wrong. Don't these two people have no opinions at all at such an age? Why are they so obedient to their master? Len Ruoxue was helpless. In fact, this was something Len Ruoxue didn't know. The master-disciple relationship in this world was more intimate in certain aspects than blood relations, especially for special professions such as artificers, alchemists, and beast trainers. Len Ruoxue sized up the three of them. She couldn't tell the level of the old man, but these two disciples were elementary spiritual monarchs with ordinary aptitude. After some thought, Len Ruoxue took out 2 remolding pills. These are 2 remolding pills. I'll give them to you. Len Ruoxue said. She originally didn't want to give them any gifts, but now that these 2 middle-aged men were calling her junior aunt, she felt strange if she didn't express her gratitude. They're from your junior aunt. Hurry and put them away, the old man hollered. Thank you, junior aunt. The two of them hesitated and obediently took the pills from Len Ruoxue's hand. In fact, they didn't want them at first. After all, remolding pills weren't precious pills, and the effects after use were very ordinary. Moreover, with their status, they could obtain any pill they wanted. So they didn't take this small remolding pill seriously at all, but they dared not disobey their master's words. Len Ruoxue could naturally tell that they didn't care about the remolding pills, but she didn't mind because she knew very well that remolding pills were of little value to most. Moreover, this was the normal reaction of people. She would really be disgusted if they pretended to be grateful when they obviously didn't care about them. Lass, you still have to compete the day after tomorrow, so I won't bother you anymore. Take this. If you have any issues in the future, feel free to look for these 2 brats in the Artificer Association to help you. The old man threw Len Ruoxue a black badge and left. Farewell, Great General Len and Junior Aunt. The 2 middle-aged men left with their master. Grandpa, who are they? Len Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. She still didn't know the identities of these 3 people. Grandpa doesn't know either. They only said that they are from the Artificer Association, Ling Qingtian said. The Artificer Association had always kept a low profile, so he didn't know much about its people. Grandpa, is Elder Chiu back? Yes. He went into his room as soon as he returned, Ling Qingtian said. I'm going to look for Elder Chiu. Master, why didn't we invite Len Ruoxue to join the Artificer Association? A middle-aged man couldn't help asking after they left the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Our Artificer Association is too small to accommodate her, the old man said with emotion. Master, when you see her in the future, you must show her as much respect as you show your master. Also, take the 2 pills she gave you when you go back. There might be a miracle, the old man interrupted his disciple and half-ordered them. He believed in his eyesight. That girl might become their benefactor in the future. Yes, master. Although they were skeptical of Len Ruoxue's strength, they firmly believed and even blindly worshipped their master. Elder Chiu. Len Ruoxue came to the door of Elder Chiu's room and knocked. But there was no response for a long time. The door suddenly opened just as Len Ruoxue was about to leave. Elder Chiu, did you get my armor back? Leng Ruoxue asked as she walked into the room. I brought it back, Elder Chiu said. Give it to me. Here. Elder Chiu had reluctantly examined it for a long time. But he couldn't figure out anything about this armor, so he handed it to Leng Ruoxue. Lass. I almost lost my old life for this armor. Shouldn't you compensate me? Elder Chiu said expectantly. Elder Chiu, what does this have to do with your life? Leng Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. It's all because of your armor. You became the champion of the artificer competition with this armor. Do you know how chaotic the scene was? Many academies asked the judges to give an explanation, and the scene was only controlled when the judges said that your armor was the highest grade equipment refined in this competition. Elder Chiu relayed the grand scene to Leng Ruoxue. Oh. Did they mention the grade? Leng Ruoxue asked casually. No. Oh right, Ruoxue, is this armor a spirit artifact? Elder Chiu asked curiously. Apart from Leng Ruoxue's armor, the highest grade of equipment refined at that time was a long saber of the treasured artifact grade, so he guessed that the armor should be a spirit artifact. Spirit artifact. Only a master artificer can refine one. Elder Chiu, what do you plan on doing about Song Min? Leng Ruoxue changed the topic. Her results were disqualified, Elder Chiu said happily. Was her identity exposed? Leng Ruoxue asked. How did you know? This girl is really shrewd. She wasn't even there at the time, yet she could guess it. Why else would her results be disqualified? With her strength, it shouldn't have been a problem for her to get into the top 3, Leng Ruoxue said objectively. She was originally third, but the Flying Bird Academy exposed her identity as a student of our academy who participated in the competition for the Lunar Shadow Academy. So she was stripped of her ranking, Elder Chiu explained gloatingly. Chapter 101, Concentrated is the Essence, 5:0. Elder Chiu, there's still a competition the day after tomorrow. I'm going back to my room first, Leng Ruoxue said after they chatted for a while. Ruoxue, rest early. Elder Chiu said thoughtfully. Big brother. Leng Ruoxue came straight to Leng Ruhan's room after exiting Elder Chiu's room. Shuer, why aren't you asleep yet? Leng Ruhan asked. Big brother isn't sleeping either. Big brother, this is for you. Leng Ruoxue took out the armor she had refined in the competition and handed it to Leng Ruhan. When she refined it, she had custom-made it for her brother. For me. Leng Ruhan was obviously surprised. Who do you think I refined it for if not you, big brother? Leng Ruoxue said mischievously. I thought it was for Yi Chen. Leng Ruhan said. Big brother, I custom-made this for you. It's only suitable for big brother. Just recognize it as yours, Leng Ruoxue explained and handed the casual-style armor to Leng Ruhan. Shuer, thanks. Leng Ruhan gently embraced his sister. Big brother, don't be so polite with Shuer. Otherwise, I will be angry. Leng Ruoxue deliberately scowled. Okay, I won't be saying thank you to Shuer anymore, Leng Ruhan said lovingly. That's right. Big brother, I'm going back to my room to sleep. Rest early, Leng Ruoxue said. Okay. Why are you here? Leng Ruoxue returned to her room and saw Yi Chen in it. Shuer, you're being biased. I want one too. Yi Chen complained aggrievedly, his pitch-black eyes glittering. Leng Ruoxue was at a loss for words. What is Freak doing? Is he going to cry? What do you want? Leng Ruoxue pretended to be confused. Battle armor. I want one too, Yi Chen said with jealousy. Although Leng Ruhan was Shuer's elder brother, it didn't mean that he wouldn't be jealous. I'll refine one for you when I have time, Leng Ruoxue said helplessly. That's more like it. Yi Chen smiled lightly when he saw that he achieved his goal. I remember saying that you're not allowed to smile, Leng Ruoxue suddenly said. No woman could resist the heaven-shaking smile of Freak, except her, of course. There are no outsiders here, Yuchen said nonchalantly. How resistant can this little thing be? Can't she be love-struck? After Yuchen left her room, she flashed directly into the heaven and earth bracelet. Little Feng Feng, Blaze, and the 3 little white tigers pounced onto her. She looked helplessly at the few little things struggling to climb onto her body. Then she bent down and directly picked up the fluffy little fellows. Big sister, Feng Feng missed you so much, the little silver wolf, who had already grown up quite a bit, said tenderly. Big sister, Blaze missed you too, Blaze said, unwilling to be outdone. And us, big sister. The 3 little white tigers didn't want to be ignored either. I know. Big sister missed you too. You weren't naughty, were you? Leng Ruoxue asked. She had spent a lot less time in the heaven and earth bracelet since the start of the competition. Big sister. Qing Ju appeared in front of Leng Ruoxue. Okay, play by yourselves. Big sister is going to cultivate. She had been cultivating the 2nd level of the heaven-defying art, but there were no signs of a breakthrough yet. Leng Ruoxue walked into the purple bamboo hut and went to see baby first. He was sleeping as usual. Then she entered the cultivation room and quietly cultivated. When Leng Ruoxue emerged from the heaven and earth bracelet, it was already night the next day. Fortunately, she had told Freak in advance that she wanted to cultivate, or they would have died of anxiety. After coming out, Leng Ruoxue went directly to the reception room arranged for the Heavenly Phoenix Academy by the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Everyone happened to be here. Shuer. Leng Qingtian was the first to see his granddaughter. Grandpa, what are you talking about? Leng Ruoxue asked curiously. Elder Qiu is arranging tomorrow's tactics for them, Leng Qingtian said. Isn't it the individual competition tomorrow? Leng Ruoxue said. Strength in the individual competition was the most important, and secondly, it depended on performance on the spot. Yes, Ruoxue. I'm telling them about the accidents that might happen, Elder Qiu said. Accidents referring to dark horses. Leng Ruoxue guessed. How do you know? Elder Qiu asked in surprise. What other accidents can there be? Poisoned by others before the match? Leng Ruoxue teased. Elder Qiu stared at Leng Ruoxue in disbelief. How do you know? This girl is amazing. Really? Leng Ruoxue was a little surprised. But on second thought, she understood. The individual competition was much more important to these students than the group competition. After all, in addition to their ranking and honor, more importantly, the individual competitions determined their future and their status in their families. So it was not strange that they would take it so seriously. It happened before. But later on, the major academies became more vigilant to prevent similar things from happening again, Elder Qiu explained. Oh, right. Lass, you still don't know the rules of the individual competition, right? Elder Qiu said again. Yes. Leng Ruoxue nodded. The individual competition will begin tomorrow and will last for 12 days. There will be a total of 300 students participating in it. The first 2 days are the preliminaries. There will be 2 rounds each day. The students will each fight against each other, and the winner will advance. After the 2 days of preliminaries, 19 students will advance to the semifinals. However, on the second day of the preliminaries, there will be a lucky student who will advance directly to the semifinals on the third day. The finals will use a round-robin system with 5 matches per day for a period of 9 days. Of course, there will be breaks arranged during the competition. However, this is roughly the process, Elder Qiu explained. Shuer, the individual competition each time is rather tragic, so you must be on high alert, Leng Ruhan reminded. Don't worry, big brother, Leng Ruoxue promised. Everyone should be clear now. Go back to your rooms and rest early. Elder Qiu urged. On the morning of the first day of the preliminaries, Leng Ruoxue and the others arrived early at the competition venue of the Lunar Shadow Academy. They drew numbers again and then sat in their seats to wait for their turn. Chapter 102, Concentrated is the Essence. 6, It's You. A girl from the Rising Dragon Institute walked up to Leng Ruoxue. Shuer, do you know her? Feng Moran, who was sitting beside Leng Ruoxue, asked softly. The woman's gaze was very unfriendly. No. How dare you say you don't know me? I am Shimenya, Princess of the Northern Frost Empire, the girl named Shimenya roared, her beautiful face distorted in intense anger. What can I do about it? This young lady is very busy. I don't have time to remember any random person, Leng Ruoxue said lightly. In fact, she recognized this woman as soon as she walked over, but she just didn't want to bother with her. Shimenya was so angry that she couldn't find her words. It's my turn. Leng Ruoxue ignored the fuming Shimenya and walked toward the stage. Leng Ruoxue's opponent was a student from the Flying Bird Academy. After she went on stage, she defeated her opponent in merely one move. She really didn't feel a sense of accomplishment from ending the battle so quickly. The other students of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy didn't meet any strong opponents in the first round of the preliminaries, so everyone won very easily. After the preliminaries and semifinals were over, the list of the top 10 students was out. Leng Ruoxue, Yi Chen, Feng Moran, Mu Li, Feng De, and Lin Yuan were all on the list. The other four were Hu Qing, Xiao Yi, and Pang Sen from the Lunar Shadow Academy and Di Fei from the Flying Bird Academy. Leng Ruoxue was luckier because she had directly advanced to the semi-finals on the second day of the preliminaries. Tell me, what did you do? Shimenya walked to Leng Ruoxue and said with a face full of anger. How can this hateful woman be so lucky? I am Northern Frost's most favored princess. This luck should be mine. Leng Ruoxue looked at Shimenya as though she was looking at an idiot and then said to Yi Chen and the others, let's go back to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Okay. Stop right there. How dare you? Shimenya's beautiful face looked a little ferocious because of her anger. How dare these people ignore me? They must be tired of living. Unfortunately, Leng Ruoxue and the others ignored her no matter how she shouted from behind. Oh, there's actually a day when our princess is ignored. Shui Shinran walked over from afar and said mockingly. She was very happy to see Shimenya being ignored. She hated this arrogant and self-righteous princess even more than she hated Leng Ruoxue. How dare she compete with me for my big brother Qing? She's really overestimating herself. Shui Shinran, with Leng Ruoxue around, can you still be the number one beauty? Shimenya retaliated, unwilling to be outdone. For a woman who cared so much about her appearance, the blow of the sudden appearance of a woman more beautiful than herself was absolutely unbearable. This was also one of the main reasons why she hated Shui Shinran and Leng Ruoxue. As for the other main reason, of course it was men. You don't have to worry about that. Even if I can't become the number one beauty, my rank will still be ahead of yours, Shui Shinran said through clenched teeth. Damn woman. Are you done bickering? Hu Qing walked over with a stern face. Big brother Qing. After seeing Hu Qing, the two mutually hostile women immediately became well-behaved. What a disgrace. Hu Qing said coldly and left without looking back. Big brother Qing, wait for me, the two women said in unison. They glared at each other as they spoke and then chased after Hu Qing. After the semi-finals, there would be 2 days to rest. Because the competition was almost over, the students of the other academies had basically returned to their academies except for the top 10 academies. Only one elder from each academy stayed behind as the representative to watch the competition. After returning to the Elegant Lagoon Pavilion, Leng Ruoxue and the others returned to their rooms to rest. Many families had wanted to see them during this period, but she had asked Elder Chiu to stop them. Moreover, there were regulations during the academy competition that the various prominent families were not allowed to harass the students and affect the competition. It was precisely because of this rigid rule that these families became much more well-behaved, but there were also some who didn't abide by the rule. The first thing Len Ruoxue did after returning to her room was to have a good night's sleep. After waking up, she went to the restaurant downstairs to have breakfast. She had just started to order when Yi Chen and Big Brother Feng came down together. "Shuer, we thought you were still asleep," Feng Moran said. They were already used to Shuer's hobby of sleeping. "I just woke up," Len Ruoxue said. She actually slept all the way to the next day, and it was almost noon. "I want the same thing she ordered," Yi Chen said to the waiter. "Me too," Feng Moran said. "Can we sit together?" Hua Qing and a few others walked downstairs and saw Len Ruoxue and the other two. "Can I say no?" Len Ruoxue was a little annoyed. Why are there always women at Hua Qing's side? This time, he actually brought two, Shui Xinran and Ximenya. These two women just happened to be very hostile to her. Eating was originally a very happy and satisfying thing, but who could still eat with such unpleasant people around? "Young Master Hua, our table can't fit so many people," Feng Moran said politely. Ordinary people would find an excuse to leave when they heard him decline so tactfully, but he obviously underestimated Hua Qing's thick skin. "It's okay. Just set up another table," Hua Qing said nonchalantly and called the innkeeper over. In fact, he didn't know why he wanted to be here. But he knew very well that Len Ruoxue's direct refusal displeased him greatly. The innkeeper quickly arranged for people to arrange two tables together. Hua Qing sat opposite Len Ruoxue, with Shui Xinran and Ximenya sitting on his sides. On Shui Xinran's left side was Feng Moran, and on Ximenya's right was Yi Chen. Ximenya saw the men she liked sitting on her left and right sides and was so happy that she was about to fly to the moon. But her beautiful dream was quickly broken. "Move aside. This is my seat." Feng De brought a chair over, placed it between Yi Chen and Ximenya, and sat down despite the crowd. "Deputy Leader Yi is our young lattice man. How dare this woman covet him? She must be tired of living." Chapter 103, Do You Dare to Accept My Challenge? 1. On another side, Lin Yuan also took a chair and placed it between Shui Xinran and Feng Moran. Shui Xinran glared at Lin Yuan with dissatisfaction and moved over a little reluctantly. Lin Yuan sat down. "Why, you barbarian, how can you be so rude?" Ximenya roared angrily and grudgingly moved toward Hua Qing. "How can a barbarian be polite? Do you have any manners for me to see?" Feng De said mockingly. This woman was still finding trouble with his young lady yesterday, yet she had the cheek to sit down at the same table shamelessly today. That's right. The skin of aristocratic and imperial families had always been quite thick. Big Brother Qing. Ximenya looked at Hua Qing aggrievedly. Len Ruoxue and the others had goosebumps when they heard her calling him Big Brother Qing. Shui Xinran, on the other hand, was fuming mad. "Do you think you have the right to call him Big Brother Qing?" Shui Xinran said with jealousy. "This bitch actually dares to seduce my man in front of me. She must be tired of living. Big Brother Qing, this barbarian bullied me. You have to help me." Ximenya ignored Shui Xinran and acted coquettishly. "Big Brother Qing will give me face in public, won't he?" "How do you want me to help you, princess?" There was no emotion on his handsome face, and his tone was light. "Big Brother Qing, you just have to help me teach him a lesson." Ximenya wasn't stupid. She knew that if her request was too much, Hua Qing wouldn't bother with her at all. Moreover, private fights were not allowed during the academy competition. "Princess, don't you know the rules during the competition?" Hua Qing frowned. "Is this princess treating me like a goon? I'm not a lapdog following her around. I just want my Big Brother Qing to teach him a lesson for me. This isn't a fight." Ximenya said coquettishly. Go away. Big brother Qing won't meddle in your affairs. Shui Xinran roared furiously. Click. Leng Ruoxue put down her chopsticks, and her beautiful eyes glanced at them indifferently. The sudden sound stunned Shui Xinran and Ximenya, but they quickly reacted. What are you doing? The two roared in unison. This isn't a place for you to be jealous of each other. Don't affect my mood when I eat. Not just anyone can touch my people. Leng Ruoxue warned as she looked at Hu Qing. I'm sorry, they were too rude, Hu Qing quickly mediated. He didn't want to anger them, but what he didn't know was that he had actually already angered Leng Ruoxue. Young Master Hua, it's better if we remain strangers from now on, Leng Ruoxue said without giving him any face. She really didn't want to be like in her previous life, being hypocritical with people she didn't like. In this life, she only wanted to live freely and do whatever she wanted to do. It was enough to protect herself and the people she cared about. As for those aristocratic families, imperial families, and the like, she couldn't be bothered to deal with them. But she knew very well that if she wanted to live the life she wanted without any qualms, she had to be stronger than anyone else. Otherwise, everything would be empty talk. Before participating in this academy competition, she had already expected what she would have to face. It was impossible for her to keep a low profile like before since she had become famous from the competition. Since it was destined that she could not keep a low profile, she could only be arrogant, and there was a price to pay for daring to have any ideas about her. Upon hearing this, Hu Qing was stunned for a moment. But he soon recovered and smiled. Do you think that's possible? To be honest, Hu Qing really didn't know what provoked her to dislike him so much. The feeling of being hated by a woman really made him a little uncomfortable. As long as you really want something, there's nothing impossible, Leng Ruoxue said indifferently. Then she stood up and walked upstairs. Seeing this, Yi Chen and the others hurriedly left as well. Big brother Qing, this woman is too much. Who does she think she is? Ximenya tried to get into Hu Qing's good books with a fawning expression while hating Leng Ruoxue to the core. That's right. Big brother Qing, Leng Ruoxue didn't leave you with any dignity. She's really too much, Shui Xinran said against the common enemy. When did your relationship become so good? Hu Qing stood up and walked out. Don't follow me. His cold voice drifted over just as Shui Xinran and Ximenya stood up from their chairs and were about to follow behind him. Leng Ruoxue and the others went straight to the reception room upstairs. Swear, I'll get someone to deliver some food. Yi Chen said. He hadn't eaten well downstairs just now. He and those people had little common ground and couldn't get along. How could he have an appetite eating with people he hated? Okay. Leng Ruoxue nodded. She hadn't eaten well either. I'll order, Fengde said quickly. Fengde called for food, and the group began eating in the reception room. What? Didn't you have lunch? Elder Qiu and Ling Qingtian walked in together. We weren't full. Grandpa, Elder Qiu, have you eaten? Leng Ruoxue asked them. We've eaten. Oh, by the way, Shuer, the Imperial Palace sent a message asking you guys, Elder Qiu, and me to attend the banquet, Ling Qingtian said. A banquet? Not interested. She would rather sleep in her room. Last, the banquet was approved by the Lunar Shadow Academy, so it's not good to miss it. It's almost a tradition now, Elder Qiu explained. Every time the competition approached the end, the imperial family of the host country would invite some students who performed excellently in the academy competition and their elders to the imperial palace for a banquet. In addition, some top families would also send invitations. But since the competition had not ended, it was up to the organizers whether or not they could go. Does that mean I have to attend? Leng Ruoxue was a little annoyed. She hated these hypocritical social interactions now, perhaps because she had had too many social engagements in her previous life. Yes. We will offend a lot of people if we don't attend, Elder Qiu said. In fact, he didn't like going either, but he had to. When? Tonight. The palace will send a carriage to pick us up. Chapter 104. Do you dare to accept my challenge? 2. Oh. Leng Ruoxue answered lightly, obviously not in a good mood. After eating, Leng Ruoxue returned to her room and entered the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Big sister. Qing Ju appeared in front of her. Qing Ju, where are those little fellows? Leng Ruoxue was a little curious. If they knew that she came in, they would have pounced on her immediately. Why didn't they come today? I locked them up for cultivation. They only know how to play all day. When can they grow up? Qing Ju said disgruntledly. Well done. Those little fellows are a little too naughty, Leng Ruoxue praised while gently pinching Qing Ju's beautiful little face. Big sister, you're taking advantage of me again. Qing Ju pouted his red lips as he complained, but a hint of affection flashed across his eyes. How could I? You little thing, what's there to take advantage of? Leng Ruoxue defended herself with a few black lines hanging on her forehead. Big sister always likes to touch me. Wouldn't that be considered taking advantage of me? A cunning look flashed past Qing Ju's eyes, and the word wronged was written all over his pink face. Leng Ruoxue was a little embarrassed, and she immediately left the Heaven and Earth bracelet after taking some items. After leaving the Heaven and Earth bracelet, Leng Ruoxue went straight to her brother's room and knocked on the door gently. Shuer. Leng Ruhan opened the door and welcomed his sister into the room. Big brother, we are going to the palace tonight. Are you coming with us? Leng Ruoxue asked. Shuer, big brother didn't receive an invitation. Of course I can't go, Leng Ruhan said indifferently. Big brother, of course you can go if you want to. Let's see who would dare to stop you. Leng Ruoxue said domineeringly. She would be worried if her brother stayed in the inn. Shuer, big brother doesn't want to go, Leng Ruhan said. He wasn't interested in boring social gatherings. Then big brother should play in the Heaven and Earth bracelet. Leng Ruoxue suggested. Okay. I happen to miss Big White and his family, Leng Ruhan said understandingly, knowing that his sister was worried about his safety. After exiting Leng Ruhan's room, Leng Ruoxue went to look for Yichen. Shuer, let's take a walk around the streets. Yichen said after seeing her. Okay, this is for you. Leng Ruoxue handed him the armor she had refined. Yichen happily accepted it. After binding it with a drop of blood, he held it in his hand and looked at it over and over again. Not only was the style of his armor different from Leng Ruhan's, but the color was also different. Leng Ruhan's was white, while his was black. He might have wanted Leng Ruhan's previously, but it was obvious that he preferred his own. After he felt that he had looked over it enough, he hurriedly put the armor on and looked at Leng Ruoxue expectantly. How is it? Not bad. It suits you very well. Leng Ruoxue knew that this armor was very suitable for Freak. Then I'll wear it from now on, Yichen said with satisfaction. The armor Shuer made looked like ordinary clothes, and no one would be able to tell that it was battle armor. Okay. Yichen held Leng Ruoxue's soft hand, and the two of them walked out of the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. This was the first time he held Shuer's hand openly, and she didn't refuse. His relationship with her had finally taken another step. The two of them walked around the streets for a while. But there were too many people on the streets, and they would be surrounded and looked at wherever they went. They had no choice but to return to the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. Alas! This was the price of fame. At night, the Imperial Palace sent a carriage to pick them up from the Elegance Lagoon Pavilion. After the people from 3 academies got into the carriage, they found that Pang Sen and others from the Lunar Shadow Academy were already inside. The carriage was very luxurious and spacious, so it didn't feel crowded even though there were more than 10 people in it. The 4 academies each sat in one corner, ignoring each other. Leng Ruoxue leaned comfortably against Yichen and closed her eyes to take a nap. No one spoke on the way to the Imperial Palace, so the carriage appeared abnormally dull. However, Yi Chen was quite happy along the way because Shuer was leaning on him. He took the opportunity to pull her into his arms and took advantage of her openly without any qualms. Hee hee. Shuer, we've arrived at the palace. Yi Chen was a little regretful. Why did we arrive so soon? Everyone alighted from the carriage one by one. The imperial palace was grand and majestic, but it was not very attractive to them. Most of them came from aristocratic families, so it was nothing spectacular to them. Esteemed guests, please follow me. A young eunuch walked to them, bowed respectfully, and then led the way. After walking for about 10 minutes, they arrived at the banquet hall. The young eunuch led them to the prearranged seats and left. The Heavenly Phoenix Academy only won second place in the previous academy competition. Although the competition this time was very eye-catching, the competition, especially the most important individual competition, was not over yet, so their seats were still arranged according to the previous placing. The Rising Dragon College was at the front, followed by the Heavenly Phoenix Academy, Lunar Shadow Academy, and Flying Bird Academy. Seated opposite them were various aristocratic families. Elder Chiu, didn't you say that only the students with excellent performance in the academy competition and their elders would be invited? After sitting down, Len Ruoxue looked at Elder Chiu with a questioning gaze. There seem to be people from the top 10 academies other than the 4 academies. They're no longer in the competition. The Imperial Palace must have sent them an invitation individually, Elder Chiu guessed. It was not like this had never happened before. Len Ruoxue nodded slightly, closed her eyes again, and leaned against Yi Chen as if no one was here. How shameless! How dare she lean on a man in public? Shimin Yu whispered in jealousy. I'm afraid no one wants you to lean on him. Feng De said mockingly while looking at this princess who liked to cause trouble for his young lady. Losing control of herself from anger, Shimin Yu immediately stood up and ordered, You! How dare you! Guards, drag this lowly commoner out. Chapter 105, Do you dare to accept my challenge? 3. Princess, calm down. Although you are a princess, this seems to be the Southern Dusk Empire. Feng De reminded her kindly. Why do these princesses like to call others lowly commoners? Are they the only ones with noble backgrounds? How ignorant! Sit down. Don't make a fool of yourself, the elder from the Rising Dragon Academy roared with displeasure on his face. Shimin Yu didn't dare to say anything else and sat down obediently. Elder Chiu, I'm so sorry. She is young and insensible. Please don't take what she says to heart. Elder Wang, it's fine. But you'd better keep an eye on her. That lass won't leave any face for anyone if provoked, Elder Chiu said softly to Elder Wang. Elder Wang looked at Len Ruoxue, who was pretending to be sleeping, and then at the students of the Heavenly Phoenix Academy. Then he looked at the students of his academy. Alas! Why is the difference so big? Their Rising Dragon Academy was the #1 academy on the Lingfeng continent, but no matter how he looked at it now, he felt that the only good students in their academy seemed to be Huaqing and Yishao. He really didn't know what kind of dog's hit luck the Heavenly Phoenix Academy had. He was so envious. Elder Wang's envious gaze almost made Elder Chiu's tail curl up, if he had one. His Majesty the Emperor has arrived. Her Majesty the Empress has arrived. The Emperor and Empress walked in together surrounded by members of the imperial family. Everyone stood up to greet the Emperor and Empress except for a few top families and the major academies who just nodded. There's no need to be so polite. You are all my guests today. Please have a seat, the Emperor said amiably and cordially before sitting on his dragon throne. The Empress sat on the shorter phoenix throne beside the Emperor's dragon throne. Imperial Father, there are so many guests today, but some are very rude. Suddenly, a discordant female voice sounded in the hall. Shut up. What's the occasion today? Is it your turn to speak? The Empress rebuked in displeasure. Huangfu Yu is too unbridled. Just because the emperor dotes on her, she doesn't even care about me, the first wife. And she didn't forget to show off at such a prestigious banquet. How rude. Imperial mother, Yue is telling the truth. What kind of crime should she be guilty of for looking down on the imperial family like this? Huang Fuyu still spoke as she pleased, not taking the empress' words seriously at all. In any case, her imperial father loved her, and the empress wouldn't dare to do anything to her, so she was very confident. Yue, which guest are you talking about? There shouldn't be such an impolite guest. Noble Consort Su, who was sitting on the other side of the emperor, spoke before the emperor could. YTS her. Huang Fu's slender jade-like hand pointed at Leng Ruoxue, who was pretending to be asleep with her eyes closed. A scheming smile appeared on her beautiful face. She was just about to look for her when she came knocking on her door. Everyone's gazes curiously looked in the direction she was pointing, and their expressions instantly varied. Some were stunned, some were jealous, some were sympathetic, and some were gloating. But everyone was well aware of the reason for Huang Fu's accusation. It was either that this beautiful young lady had offended this snobbish princess or Huang Fuyu was envious of her beauty and deliberately found trouble with her. Such a thing was nothing in aristocratic families. The empress also turned her gaze. This girl is so beautiful. She's still so breathtakingly beautiful with her eyes closed. She turned to look at Shui Xinran. Alas! There's no comparison. She is like a phoenix in the sky, while the #1 beauty on the Ling Feng continent is like a chicken in the ground. Huang Fuyu is really becoming more and more promising. She's even provoking people from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy. The 3 academies might not be as powerful as the 5 great families and the imperial families of the 5 countries. But the status of the 3 academies was very transcendent on the Ling Feng continent. Moreover, the 3 academies had spiritual supremacies, and their status was not inferior to that of the imperial families. So the imperial families of the various countries had always been polite to the 3 academies. Furthermore, the Heavenly Phoenix Academy had strong momentum in this academy competition, and it was very likely that it would take first place. They had to be on friendly terms. But Huang Fuyu, the empress, turned to look at the emperor sitting on the throne. Seeing that he had no intention of stopping her, she stopped talking and waited to watch the show. Leng Ruoxue lazily opened her beautiful eyes and looked around the hall, taking in everyone's expressions. Finally, her gaze landed on Huang Fuyu. Turns out it's her. Princess, are you talking about me? Leng Ruoxue smiled charmingly. Her smile was so beautiful that it dumbfounded everyone. Beautiful. Truly beautiful. The strong were respected in this world, but beautiful women were also pleasing to the eye, especially one with strength. Everyone immediately had different thoughts. It's you. How dare you be so impudent as to not pay respects to my imperial father? How dare you? Huang Fuyu roared arrogantly. Am I being too impudent, or are you being too impudent? How can a princess of a country be so rude to a guest? Is this the upbringing of the imperial family of the Southern Dusk Empire? Leng Ruoxue's gaze passed Huang Fuyu and gently swept over the emperor sitting on the throne. The emperor of the Southern Dusk Empire, Huang Fuzhen, felt Leng Ruoxue's gaze and just smiled calmly. As expected of the Leng family, their imposing manner isn't something that others can compare to, he couldn't help thinking. Of course you are the one being imprudent. I'm a princess, and you're just a lowly commoner. How dare you compare yourself to me? Huang Fuyu said proudly, her face full of arrogance and cockiness. So spiritual sovereigns are all lowly commoners in your eyes, princess? I understand now, Leng Ruoxue said softly as beautiful eyes looked at everyone. Among the people present today, other than the imperial family and the important ministers of the Southern Dusk Empire, the weakest was a spiritual monarch. Spiritual sovereigns naturally aren't commoners, but you're not a spiritual sovereign, Huang Fuyu said nonchalantly. In fact, she didn't even care about spiritual sovereigns. What about spiritual sovereigns? They still had to be her servants. There was a spiritual sovereign among her guards. Can a great spiritualist like you tell whether I'm a spiritual sovereign or not? Len Ruoxue said mockingly. At the same time, she felt a few gazes looking at her inquisitively, as though they wanted to know her true strength. Huang Fuyu flew into a rage out of humiliation. Without thinking, she grabbed the whip wrapped around her waist and lashed it at Len Ruoxue's face. Chapter 106, Do You Dare to Accept My Challenge? 4. Aha! Seeing that the whip was about to hit the stunning Bowtie's face, everyone present couldn't help exclaiming. Although some wanted to be the hero who saved the beauty, considering Huang Fuye's identity. Before Len Ruoxue could make a move, a powerful force shattered the whip in Huang Fuye's hand. And a trace of imperceptible black spiritual power entered Huang Fuye's body through the hand holding the whip. Everyone was surprised because no one saw who did it. Who was it? Come out here for this princess now. Huang Fuyu roared a little hysterically. How infuriating. That's enough. Huang Fuzhen stopped her. Imperial father. Huang Fuyu cried out with displeasure. Quickly come back and sit down. Otherwise, go back to your chambers, Huang Fuzhen said with a stern face. Consider yourself lucky today. Huang Fuyu glared at Len Ruoxue and then reluctantly returned to her seat. She really didn't dare to disobey her father. I wonder who is lucky today. Len Ruoxue said with a smile that was not a smile. She really wanted to kill her just now. This princess would no longer be alive if Huang Fuzhen hadn't suddenly spoken. Thinking of this, she turned her beautiful eyes coldly to Huang Fuzhen. She would remember what happened today. Miss Leng, I'm so sorry. Yuer is young and insensible. Please don't take it to heart, Huang Fuzhen said apologetically. I'm just a lowly commoner. How dare I make a fuss with a noble princess? Len Ruoxue said coldly. How can I not make a fuss about it? How can I let go of someone who wants to kill me? It's good that you didn't take it to heart, Huang Fuzhen said awkwardly. Everyone, welcome to the palace for today's banquet. I hope everyone will have a good time today, Huang Fuzhen said courteously while raising his glass. After he finished speaking, maidservants began to serve the dishes one after another. And in the middle of the hall, there was a carefully arranged musical and dance performance. Miss Leng, how is today's performance? Noble Consort Su asked leisurely. Why does she look so similar? This beautiful face really makes me. Len Ruoxue was busy fighting with the delicacies in front of her. Charm, Darling, and Quill were also all let out to fight together. The maidservants serving by the side were constantly bringing food for them, and they were so tired that their legs were about to break. As for those people who wanted to exchange pleasantries and toast with her, they were all ignored. Moreover, it wasn't only her but everyone from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy as well. Everyone was flabbergasted when they saw this scene. Did these people from the Heavenly Phoenix Academy not eat for a few days to be so hungry? On such an occasion, everyone was mostly socializing and establishing connections. How could they eat and drink without caring about their appearances? Miss Leng, don't you like today's performance? Noble Consort Su asked while holding back her anger. Damn it! She's actually ignoring me. No one bothered about her. We're full. Let's go back. Len Ruoxue said to everyone as she caressed Charm's and Darling's round tummies. Okay, I'm full. Let's go back to sleep. Yichin said as he yawned. Miss, we didn't come for nothing today. We saved money and had a satisfying meal. Fengde said contentedly. Yeah. If only someone invites us every day, we could save a lot of money. Lin Yuan approved. In the future, I think we should go and eat whenever someone invites us, and we can pack up whatever we can't eat. There are many of us, so it's better to save whenever we can. Isn't that right, Elder Chiu? Even the more upright Feng Moran chimed in and finally directed the topic to Elder Chiu. Yes, that makes sense, Elder Chiu said cooperatively while trembling a little. My little ancestors. Do you hold a grudge against the academy? How can you ruin the academy's reputation like this? Elder Chiu was so depressed that he even wanted to die, but he had no choice but to cooperate. He was alone. Boo-hoo. Principal, I've let you down. After hearing what this said, everyone present even felt a little inferior. Amazing. Simply amazing. Leng Ruoxue. Noble Consort Su screamed, not caring about her appearance. She was about to explode from anger. Who's shouting? Leng Ruoxue dug her ears and looked at everyone suspiciously. It's me. Noble Consort Su roared. This damn girl is obviously doing it on purpose. She was so angry. Who are you? Why are you shouting so loudly? What if you scare people? We're not deaf. Leng Ruoxue's tone was clearly disapproving. You, Noble Consort Su was so infuriated that she couldn't even speak. Leng Ruoxue, how dare you ignore my mother? Huang Fu Yu accused her furiously. Your Majesty, the chefs in the Imperial Palace have good culinary skills. We are very satisfied with the food, Leng Ruoxue said politely to Huang Fu Zhen, also ignoring Huang Fu Yu. Hee, as long as Miss Leng is satisfied, Huang Fu Zhen said helplessly. Leng Ruoxue. Huang Fu Yu roared angrily. How dare this woman ignore me? Your Majesty, we are satisfied, but there are still many hungry students in our academy. May we pack some and take them away with us? Leng Ruoxue asked earnestly without even looking at Huang Fu Yu. Tea take away. Huang Fu Zhen was speechless. They really wanted to take away the food. This was the first time he heard that someone wanted to take away food when returning from a banquet in the Imperial Palace. Thank you for your understanding, Your Majesty. Leng Ruoxue pretended to be ignorant. Feng De, Lin Yuan, go pack with this big sister. Leng Ruoxue pointed at the pink-clothed maidservant who had been serving them food just now. Yes, miss, Feng De and Lin Yuan answered. The maidservant in pink looked at them awkwardly and then looked up at the emperor. After receiving the emperor's signal, she led them to the imperial kitchen. Your Majesty, we have finished eating. We will take our leave first, Leng Ruoxue said very politely after seeing Feng De and Lin Yuan return. After eating, you can stay to enjoy the song and dance. Huang Fu Zhen was a little speechless. So these people were only here to eat. We are all ordinary people and don't know how to appreciate these things, Leng Ruoxue said casually. Chapter 107, Do you dare to accept my challenge? 5. All the more reason for you to stay. The more you watch, the better you will be able to appreciate it. Noble Consort Su forced a smile and tried to convince them to stay. The show hasn't started yet, so how can I let them leave so easily? Shuer, let's stay for a while. Leng Qingtian finally spoke. Yes, Grandpa. Leng Ruoxue acted like a well-behaved child. She wanted to see what trick this mother and daughter pair could come up with. It just so happened that she was bored now, so she could watch the monkey show. Having eaten to her fill, Leng Ruoxue continued to use Yi Chen as a cushion and lean on him, with the 3 small and cute beasts lying in her arms. The 2 humans and 3 beasts looked so harmonious. Yi Chen adjusted his posture so that Shuer could lean more comfortably against him. He held a bunch of grapes in his hand and fed them to Shuer one by one. He was elated that Shuer was willing to rely on him so much. His efforts during this period were finally not in vain. Humph, what a slut. She's actually leaning in a man's arms in public, Huang Fu Yu said with some jealousy. My cousin was right. My dear noble princess, how can this young lady be called a slut by lying on my man? I will only be a slut if I have designs on someone else's man, right? Leng Ruoxue said very contentedly while enjoying the service of the freakishly beautiful man, eating the grapes he fed to her. How did I become used to leaning on him after only a few times? What should I do? I can't let this freak know, or he will become arrogant. That's right. Women who like to have ideas about other people's men are the most despicable. Shui Xinran agreed very much as she looked at Shimenya. She hated that Leng Ruoxue was more beautiful than her, but she hated Shimenya even more. Who are you talking about? Huang Fuyu roared furiously. Why are you so worked up, princess? Could it be? Leng Ruoxue smiled and stopped speaking. Leng Ruoxue, do you dare to accept my challenge? Huang Fuyu said while suppressing her anger. You, a great spiritualist, want to challenge me? Leng Ruoxue looked at Huang Fuyu carefully from head to toe, wanting to see what was wrong with her. Yes, Huang Fuyu said confidently. You will regret it if you accept it. It won't be a battle between spiritualists. I'm not interested, Leng Ruoxue said indifferently after a while. You tricked me. Are you afraid? Huang Fuyu looked at Leng Ruoxue mockingly, her face full of provocation. Who do you think you are? I'm just too lazy to deal with you. Do you really think you're some big shot? Leng Ruoxue said very honestly. Honesty was a virtue. She originally didn't want to deal with such a clown, but the other party didn't agree. Since Miss Leng isn't willing to accept your challenge, why force her? I believe Miss Leng must have her own difficulties, noble consort Su said understandingly. But what she implied was that Leng Ruoxue was too timid and scared to accept the challenge. Princess, why do you want to challenge me? Leng Ruoxue asked indifferently. If she didn't cooperate now that the mother and daughter were provoking her together, wouldn't she be too unaccommodating? I want to compete with you in beast taming, Huang Fuyu said confidently. She was favored for a reason. She was already a master beast trainer. Pfft. Fengde and the others directly spat out the wine in their mouths. It was really too sensible for this brain-dead girl to compete with their young lady in beast training. Are you sure? What? Are you scared? Huang Fuyu said arrogantly. Beast training was her forte, and even her master praised her for being a rare beast trainer genius. Are you sure you want to compete with someone who isn't a beast trainer? Leng Ruoxue asked for confirmation. Of course. But if you're afraid, you can admit defeat now, Huang Fuyu reminded cockily. She was blinded by her pride and didn't realize that her actions would cause others to despise her. In fact, she only wanted to find a reason to humiliate Leng Ruoxue, so she didn't care if Leng Ruoxue knew how to tame beasts. What a joke. Why should I be afraid if you aren't? Leng Ruoxue was truly speechless. She thought they would have a good idea, but it was actually a beast taming competition. But why didn't Huang Fuzhen stop such a brainless idea? She couldn't help turning her gaze to the emperor sitting on this throne. But the expression on his face was very calm, and no one could tell what was on his mind. I didn't expect Princess Huang Fuyu to be a beast trainer, someone whispered to the person beside him in the hall. I didn't expect it. The Southern Dusk Empire hit her too well. No wonder the emperor dotes on her so much, another person echoed. But isn't it being too much of a bully for a beast trainer to compete with someone who isn't one? Another person interrupted. It was a very young man who was obviously standing up for Leng Ruoxue. The whispers from the three of them were very soft, but many people present were experts at the spiritual monarch realm and above. Thus, when they heard their whispered discussions, the gazes that many shot at Huang Fuyu carried a trace of disdain. Unfortunately, the person involved didn't notice in the slightest, and she even thought that everyone was looking at her with admiration. Guards, bring them here. As soon as Huang Fuyu finished speaking, several servants carried 2 large cages into the hall. Everyone's gaze was immediately attracted by the spirit beasts in the cages. One of the cages had a golden python with a white horn, and the other had a black fox that was glossy all over. These 2 spirit beasts were lying lazily in the cages with mocking eyes. Ink Fox. Charm, what's the matter? do you know it? Len Ruoxue asked Charm in her head. Master, it is a purple-eyed ink fox, a rare mutated fox among purple-eyed snow foxes. Master, please save it. Charm said to Len Ruoxue excitedly in his head. He couldn't bear to see his own kind locked in that small cage. Beloved master, your darling begs you to save it. Darling also begged in her head. The fox race couldn't tolerate the existence of ink foxes, but this ink fox had been captured by humans. It was really too pitiful. Chapter 108, Stewing in One's Own Juice. 1. Don't worry. I'll think of a way, Len Ruoxue said comfortingly. How could she bear to disappoint Charm and Darling? What does this mean? Len Ruoxue looked at Huang Fuyu and pretended to be puzzled. We each tame one. Whoever can successfully tame it in the shortest time wins, Huang Fuyu explained. She had spent a lot of effort to borrow these two spirit beasts from the Beast Trainer Association. How should we split these two spirit beasts? Len Ruoxue asked. The levels of these two spirit beasts were different. The fox was a level 9 holy beast. As for the one-horned golden python, Len Ruoxue carefully examined the golden python in the cage. No, this isn't a one-horned golden python. There was a single horn growing in the middle of its golden head. But the horn of a one-horned golden python was pure white, and this horn was a white jade color. This should be a one-horned golden flood dragon that is said to be extinct. One-horned golden flood dragons were the spirit beasts closest to the bloodlines of dragons. Moreover, one-horned golden flood dragons had another special skill, which was to conceal their levels. In that case, this one-horned golden flood dragon. Of course we will be drawing lots. This fox is a holy beast, and that one-horned golden python is a level 9 spirit beast. We will tame whichever beast we draw, Huang Fuyu said in a seemingly very fair manner. Master, this dragon isn't a level 9 spirit beast. Charm reminded Len Ruoxue with a cunning smile. Very fair. Let's see who's lucky. Len Ruoxue nodded in agreement. You're the guest. I'll let you draw first. Big brother Feng, could I trouble you to draw the lot for me? She was too lazy to move. No problem. Big brother Feng will definitely draw that level 9 spirit beast for you, Feng Moran promised. He walked directly to the box and drew a small piece of paper. Ink Fox. Feng Moran opened the paper and read the words on it in public. Alas! As expected, this Huang Fuyu really doesn't have good intentions. Len Ruoxue, looks like your luck isn't good enough. Huang Fuyu said complacently. Yes, it's not good enough. Congratulations, princess, Len Ruoxue said somewhat flusteredly. Then let's begin the competition now. But the loser has to be punished, Huang Fuyu said with a scheming face. What punishment? The loser has to be the winner's servant. No matter what the winner wants you to do, you have to obey unconditionally, Huang Fuyu said. That's not a problem. But what I want to know is, if the beast taming is successful, who will the spirit beasts belong to? Len Ruoxue asked lightly. She didn't want to waste her efforts for others. They will belong to whoever successfully tames them. Huang Fuyu was sure that Len Ruoxue couldn't tame a spirit beast, or else she wouldn't dare to say so. Princess, can you decide this? If you can't, then cancel the competition, Len Ruoxue provoked. Of course I can decide. Huang Fuyu roared angrily. It's good that you are in charge. I don't want any disputes in the future. I absolutely hate trouble, Len Ruoxue said lightly. Everyone, please bear witness for Ruoxue. Princess Huang Fuyu said that the spirit beasts will belong to whoever tames them, she then said to everyone in the hall. Len Ruoxue. What do you mean? You don't believe what this princess says. Huang Fuyu hollered in disbelief. I really don't believe it unless you write it in black and white, Len Ruoxue said very honestly. Good children should be honest. Okay, this princess will write it for you. Huang Fu Yu was a little unsettled. Why is Len Ruoxue so troublesome? Someone, bring me a brush and paper. After finishing writing, Huang Fu Yu handed the note to a maidservant. The maidservant walked to Len Ruoxue and handed the note to her, but Len Ruoxue didn't take it. Len Ruoxue. What do you want now? Nothing. I just want the princess mother to be a witness for us, Len Ruoxue said innocently. Anyone who dared to plot against me has to be prepared to suffer the consequences. Humph. I'm not a kind little rabbit. In that case, I'll be your witness, noble consort Su said confidently. This Len Ruoxue is obviously stalling for time. I can't allow it. After hearing this, the maidservant hurriedly handed the note to noble consort Su. She then passed it to Len Ruoxue after the noble consort Su signed her name on it. Len Ruoxue took the note and read it carefully. Only after confirming that there were no mistakes did she put the note away. There shouldn't be a problem now, right? Huang Fu Yu asked while suppressing her anger. No problem. Then can we start now? Huang Fu Yu asked through gritted teeth. She really wanted to swallow Len Ruoxue alive now. Of course. Len Ruoxue smiled lightly. Then let's begin. Huang Fu Yu walked directly to the cage of the one-horned golden python and began to tame it. Len Ruoxue. Why aren't you starting? Noble consort Su couldn't help asking. What does she want? Has she given up on her own accord? At this moment, noble consort Su had countless questions in her mind. Princess Mother, be quiet. You will regret it if the princess turns into a fool because of your disturbance, Len Ruoxue reminded lightly. You, noble consort Su's face turned green with anger when she heard what Len Ruoxue said. But she really didn't dare to say another word. Lass, why aren't you taming the beast yet? Elder Chiu asked curiously. He knew that this girl knew how to tame beasts back at Thousand Cry Mountain. Moreover, the beast she tamed was only a level 5 holy beast, while this one was level 9. Could this lass not be confident? Elder Chiu couldn't help letting his imagination run wild. Good things must wait. What's the rush? Len Ruoxue said nonchalantly, as if the beast taming competition had nothing to do with her. Old man Chiu, don't be like a eunuch. As the saying goes, the emperor is not worried, but his eunuchs are. Ling Qingtian provoked. Are you calling me a eunuch? You old thing, you're asking for a beating. Elder Chiu roared, fuming with rage. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.